live stream may contain content inappropriate for children. Game's rated M for mature, so. Woo! PlayStation.
Ready?
What do you think?
I'd heard rumors that you'd survived.
Lord Rosfield, I've been looking for you for a very long time.
So that's one of the things that was interesting that they announced since this celebration was that the lip syncing is only for English, and they gave a warning to Japanese players that if they play in Japanese, the lip sync will not match the Japanese dub because it is a Japanese dub.
You're not the only one.
And I never thought that that would be a thing for Final Fantasy, at least of all things.
I thought I was ready for this.
I know, but we will face it together.
We were talking.
Let's shut him up. I am a shield of Rosaria, and I will do my duty. Come on, Etrian. Show us your true power.
Can we talk about how hardcore that frickin' music is? Good God.
Welcome to the stage, Square Enix President and CEO, Takashi Kiryu.
Who's the announcer? Holy shit. Welcome to the stage, Takashi Kiryu. It's like, holy crap, who's that guy? Oh my God.
Welcome to this celebration for Final Fantasy XVI! Whether joining us in person or watching online, we thank you for being a part of our show. But when I say our show, I mean all this is your show too. Our fun. Sorry. Fuck. Come on.
This is the brand new CEO. He's been CEO for like 3 months.
Over the years has driven our developers to achieve miracles. As for me, well,
Or like 2
I'm
weeks.
just another fan, like you.
Very small time.
A fan who is honored to serve as the new CEO of Square Enix.
Congratulations. We're very hopeful.
Thank you.
The last guy
And
was
a fan
awful.
Who is so excited to meet you all on this special day when we present to you our latest instrument in the flagship Final Fantasy franchise. Now, I don't know how you felt when you were watching that trailer we just saw, but I felt like a kid again.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of chills.
Like a young boy
Repeatedly.
in winter in 1987. Who loved RPGs, who loved Dragon Quest, which came out
Thank you, El
the year
Canadiano.
before and was amazing. I had to get my hands on the big new thing. So, as a reward for helping my parents pick oranges, and after begging them for an early Christmas gift, and my father bought me the very first Final Fantasy. And right off the bat, I was surprised. No title screen, just some story text. I started to wonder if maybe my father had bought the wrong game. But I kept playing and kept playing. And eventually, I left the castle and crossed the bridge, and then screen changed. That music, that moment, when title appears, that surprise, that delight, still seared into my memory. From then on, I was hooked. I was Final Fantasy fan for life. Yeah. Whenever a new title came out, I had to make time to play. Forget homework, forget eating, forget sleeping. I sleep in class anyway. While my friends got into sports or, other activities, but I was focused on games. And yeah, I had more than a few teachers tell me, if you play games all the time, you are not going to succeed.
You'll never amount to anything.
But, exactly, they would very surprised to see me standing on this stage right now with you.
Went from a kid loving Final Fantasy to running the company that makes it. Crazy.
I believe games offer infinite possibilities. They have the potential to alter the course of our lives. As the new CEO of Square Enix, I will continue to cherish those childhood memories that instilled in me a gamer's spirit. And strive to deliver all of the fans across the world, that entertainment that promises new, unforgettable experiences. Experiences that are powerful, affirming, rewarding, delivered to you with the cooperation of our business partner. On that note, I'd like to share with you a message from one of our most valued partners, Jim Ryan.
SIE's relationship
Boo,
with
Jim
Square
Ryan,
Enix
boo.
goes back right to the start of PlayStation's existence, and that partnership has never been stronger. We
I will
value
say,
everything that we do together.
Final Fantasy has made me buy every PlayStation console. I have never owned an Xbox. Not because I have anything against Xbox, but because this thing plays Final Fantasy games.
As I said before, Square Enix has produced works that have changed people's lives, including my own. And it is my promise we will continue to do so. I want to craft moments and memories that stay with you for a lifetime. I want Square Enix to grow stronger and better at providing experiences that resonate with you now and forever. Thank you.
Really strong message considering the last CEO was like
Today,
blockchain,
we present to you
NFTs,
our latest
profit.
effort to do just that. Final Fantasy 16.
The last CEO drove Square Enix's reputation so far into the ground.
As someone who had the chance to play the demo a bit earlier, all I can say is nothing. Because nothing I could say would do it justice. Even now, thinking back to the trailer we just saw,
which was really
I
good.
can't help but wonder what comes next. I'm sure it's the same for all of you. But it's honestly painful for me having to wait until June 22nd to find out.
Couple days.
We are all dying to learn more about Final Fantasy 16, right? Yeah! Okay, let's get this show started.
No need for an Xbox if you get to play all the games on PC. Final Fantasy never comes to PC day one or even year one. It's normally like year 2 if you're lucky.
Naoki Yoshida and localization director Michael Christopher Coach Fox.
He's doing a great job trying to reach out to the community rather than talk down to it. I mean, he came from the community. He is a CEO, so he is going to be like very business minded, but at least, you know, you have somebody that at least remembers what it's like to be somebody sitting out in that crowd or somebody sitting in this chair rather than someone that's just focused on corporate.
皆さんの前で初めて CEO としてね、しっかりご挨拶いただきました。
That's right. Thank you very much, Kiryu-san, for such a great introduction. I think it's like the first time he's done this kind of English speech in front of everybody. It was a great job, right?
He did great. You could tell he was nervous because like he was shaking and stuff, but he did a fantastic job.
生粋のゲーマーでもあるんで、昔の思い出とともにね、これからまたスクエアニックスどうしていきたいかという決意ね、語っていただきました。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, but again, thank you very much, Kiryu-san, for telling us about your childhood, your passion as a gamer, and where you want to take Square Enix in the future.
They have the localization director on the stage as the translator. That's fucking badass.
Final Fantasy 16
And my name is Michael Christopher Koji Fox, Translation and Localization Director on Final Fantasy 16.
Smart move, honestly. Yeah, it really is. It's cool, though. But, I mean, just because you're good at localization doesn't mean that you're a good, like, live translator. But, I mean, power to him for being one.
16の最新情報、イベント会場からぜひその盛り上がりを皆さんにお伝えしていきたいと思ってます。
All right, so Final Fantasy 16 is finally releasing on June 22nd, and as part of today's pre-launch
maybe he's just
celebration,
reading
we will
what
be
he's gonna
delivering
say.
the latest information and streaming on-stage content from here in Los Angeles.
Either way, I don't care.
ファイナルファンタジー16は我々スクエアエニックスの第3開発事業本部がファイナルファンタジー14と並行して長年にわたって開発してきたファイナルファンタジーシリーズ
I love how casually he's holding just a little Torgal plush.
So Final Fantasy 16 is the latest installment in the series, which we, Square Enix's Creative Business Unit 3, CBU 3, have worked on and developed for so many years alongside Final Fantasy 14.
This guy right here, Yoshi P, is basically responsible for saving Square Enix as a company. You can draw a lot of lines to how Square Enix didn't go bankrupt because of that guy.
その発売直前のね熱気をこの会場から皆さんにねライブストリームも含めてお届けできて本当に嬉しく思ってます。
And so the development team and the promotion team and our staff from
Check
all
out his
around the world
boots.
have been pouring their hearts into delivering the best
Yoshi P's
narrative
rocking
and
some
gaming
sick
experience
boots.
with Final Fantasy 16. And today, we would love to share this pre-launch excitement with all of you from this stage.
改めまして今日会場にお集まりいただいているファンの皆さん、そしてインフルエンサーの皆さん、そして配信の向こうから、世界中でご覧いただいている皆さん。
You can tell he's used to talking to crowds. Yeah, he's just chatting with friends right now.
And so to the fans and the influencers that have gathered here with us today, as well as everyone else around the world watching on the stream, please enjoy the show.
ではまずこのイベントのスタートとしてですね、今回日本から開発チーム何人か来てますので、壇上に上げてちょっと紹介したいと思います。
All right, so today, now as our opening act, allow me to introduce some of the dev team members that we have brought with us from Japan for the show today.
じゃあ皆さんステージの上へどうぞ。
I need one of those
Come on,
hoodies.
everyone.
Despite me being one of the biggest Final Fantasy nerds ever, this is the only frickin' piece of clothing that's Final Fantasy based that I own. And Athena got me this.
ではですね、せっかくなので、メインディレクターのね、高井さんから順番にね、一言ずつ皆さんにご挨拶をお願いします。
All right, so let the team introduce themselves.
I have more than one? I do? Final Fantasy clothing? Oh. We'll be getting rid of those soon.
All right, I'm Final Fantasy 16 main director, Hiroshi Takai.
Also, that's Square Enix, not Final Fantasy. It's different.
はい、ファイナルファンタジー16でクリエイティブディレクターと原作脚本を担当した前広です。今日は皆さんと一緒に、楽しみながらいろんな情報をお伝えしていきたいと思います。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
All right, and I am the Final Fantasy 16's creative director and main scriptwriter, Kazutoyo Maehiro, and I'm looking forward to giving you a lot of information about the game today.
はい、皆さんはじめまして、ファイナルファンタジー16、コンバットディレクターを担当しました、鈴木亮太です。よろしくお願いします。
And hello everyone. No, sorry. And hello everyone.
テンション上げてるよ。
Okay, okay.
テンション上げて
Get up there. So hello everyone. My name is Ryota Suzuki, and I am the combat director on Final Fantasy 16. It's great to meet you all.
Former lead of Devil May Cry. He did Devil May Cry's combat for years over at Capcom. He was poached to make this game.
ファイナルファンタジー16で、音楽を担当しましたソケンと申します。よろしくお願いします。
Hello everyone. I worked on Final Fantasy 16 music.
Wait.
Oh. Hey everybody! I worked on the music in Final Fantasy 16. I'm Masayoshi Soken!
さて、こんな面白いおじさんたちで
They're all like, we're done. We finished the game. We get to just come celebrate with everyone now.
All right, so let's ask these crazy guys, what's in store for you today on today's panels?
はい、まず最初私とコンバットディレクターの鈴木とで、マクシミリアン・ドゥーツさんと共に、
Maximilian Dude San.
まあアビリティをアピールするバトルコンテンツをお見せするステージを行いたいと思ってますのでよろしくお願いします。
All right, so first off, myself and Suzuki-san will be joined by Maximilian Dude and have a battle panel to show off the game's action content.
コウジさ、マックスさんのめっちゃファンなんだよね。
I'm a fan of Maximilian Dude. Yes, I'm a big fan. I'm kind of nervous.
では今回そのバトルコンテンツというものをですね、一生懸命、メインディレクターの高井とそれから亮太君、コンバットディレクターの鈴木亮太の方で、3人でですね、しっかりバトルの魅力というのをお伝えしていこうと思います。亮太君もちょっと一言ごめん、通訳の後に意気込みをお願いします。
All right, so again, in this panel, we're going to have 3 of them on the stage, and they're going to be showcasing some of the battle scenes in Final Fantasy 16 and actually be showing you some real-time gameplay.
So he is translating. He does know Japanese very, very well. He might have notes and stuff written down.
リアルタイムアクションとなっております。バトルセッションに関しては、ファイナルファンタジー16のバトルを最大限魅力を皆さんにお伝えできたらなと思っております。よろしくお願いします。
Just wait for the showcase portions. I'm ready. I got maybe enough water.
そしてそのステージの次はですね、さっき紹介にあったクリエイティブディレクターの前広、それからコウジと、そしてアラナ・ピアスさんの3人でですね、ファイナルファンタジー16の世界観、ロアとストーリーにちょっと迫ってみようと思ってます。
All right, and then next up, we will have a panel on the game's story and lore done by Maehiro-san and myself, as well as the streamer Alana Pierce.
もちろん安心してください。ネタバレはございません。
It's cool that they got Alana Pierce for the.
Really? Really?
It's cool that they got Alana Pierce for the narrative showcase. So they called Alana a streamer, which is true. Alana does stream and also does YouTube stuff, but she's also a writer for Sony Santa Monica and worked on God of War Ragnarok. So she also is part of the productive creative process for writing specifically.
All right. So again, we worked really, really hard to make the story and the narrative very, very engaging, and we want to talk all about it today. So with the help of me, we're going to do our best. Yeah? You got it? Good. Okay.
はい、そして、最後のセッションとしてですね、最後はサウンドコンポーザーのソケンとアレックス・ムカラさんによってですね、本作のサウンドがどう作られているのか、それからどんな影響を音楽がねゲームに及ぼすのか、その辺をぜひ深掘りしていただこうと思ってます。
Alright, and finally for our third session, we will have Soken-san as well as Alex Mukala having a session about the game's soundtrack and how music plays a role in the game.
Alex. ソケンの方から一言意気込みをお願いします。
ソケン？
今日は、音楽ステージ、秘蔵の映像がね、出てきたり、それからもしかしたらなんか楽器が裏にあったから、もしかしたらなんか一緒にねアレックさんと一緒に演奏できたりするのかなとか思ったりしてるんで、楽しみにお待ちください。
Okay, so for today's panel, we're going to be, talking a lot about sound, but we're also maybe have some video content that we may be showing you today for the first time ever, and also during the panel, if you happen to see some instruments behind us, that may mean maybe we're gonna do something.
ちょっと待って、maybe 言ってさ。
These guys are having so much fun. This is the most chill panel I've ever seen in terms of like a major video game announcement production. Like they're just like, yeah, guys, we made a game.
盛りだくさんのステージでお届けしたいと思いますので、じゃあそれぞれの、皆さんは準備の方、お願いしたいので一度ステージ下へお願いします。
All right, we have a lot in store for you today, but first we let these guys go back and get ready for their panels.
If the whole show is this chill, I want every panel for video game conferences to be like this one.
ステージリハーサルやりましたけど、なんかいつものノリですね。
So yeah, we did this earlier. Yesterday we did the rehearsal. We were a little bit nervous, but now we get up here on stage in front of you guys. This is a lot easier than we thought.
引き続きですね、僕の方からオープニングセッションとしてですね、いくつかの最新情報をお届けしていこうと思います。
Alright, so for the rest of the session, we're going to talk a little bit more about some new information that we have for you special today.
そのオープニングなんですが、ファイナルファンタジーシリーズを代表して、こちらの方からメッセージをいただいてますので、まずはそちらをご覧いただこうと思います。
But before we begin, we have received a special message from a special someone as part of this opening ceremony. So let's start with that.
ファイナルファンタジーブランドマネージャーの北瀬義則です。ファイナルファンタジー16いよいよ発売になります。今回ね、吉田プロデューサーはファイナルファンタジー14で、10年近くね、ファイナルファンタジーのファンの方とこう寄り添って一番近い距離でファンの方を見てきたプロデューサーですので、一番ねファンの方が望むファイナルファンタジーを知っているので、非常にねファンの望むファイナルファンタジーができるのと同時によく知ってるからこそファンの方の期待を超えるような全く新しいファイナルファンタジーを生み出せる。
Yoshinori Kitase has been with Square Enix working on Final Fantasy, well, even before it was Square Enix, back on the Square Soft days, like 25, 30 years ago.
いや北さんありがとうございました。というわけでファイナルファンタジーシリーズブランドマネージャーの北さんからのメッセージでした。なんかめっちゃプレッシャーかけられてる気がしました。
And so that was a very special message from the Final Fantasy brand manager Yoshinori Kitase. And now I have all this, I feel lots of pressure and very nervous to succeed.
でも北さんといえばね、ファイナルファンタジー7
he's
リメ
like
イクシリーズも
the second or third biggest boss in the
担当
company
してくだ
now.
さってますが、数日前ファイナルファンタジー7リバースの情報出ましたね。
So we all know Kitase-san as also the producer of Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Rebirth, which just dropped a lot of information a couple days ago.
Yep.
今年から1年かけてですね、ファイナルファンタジー16とファイナルファンタジー7リバース、日本の FF ナンバータイトル掲げてですね、フランチャイズ盛り上げていきたいと思ってますので、両方ともぜひよろしくお願いします。
Alright, and so this year, the plan is to keep everyone excited with not one but two Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and of course, Final Fantasy 16.
I don't know who that was in the crowd, but I'm with you.
Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy XVI are very, very different types of games.
Yes.
確かに確かに。ただ、ファイナルファンタジーシリーズって生みの親である坂口さんもそれから北瀬さんもよく言ってるんですけど、ファイナルファンタジーっていうのはその時々のディレクターが
7 is modern
最高のストーリー
fantasy.
を引っ提げて、今これが一番面白いと思うゲームデザインを思い切って作ってそれにファイナルファンタジーっていう名前をつければそれがファイナルファンタジー
I'm surprised that they're talking about Rebirth, but
だからね結
I
構
won't
ゲームデザイン
complain.
シリーズによって違ったりします。
I expected them to avoid talking about
They
it.
certainly are. Both Kitate-san and Sakaguchi-san, the father of the Final Fantasy series, have always had this mutual sentiment that the
mentioned
Final Fantasy
Sakaguchi.
game is basically what the creators at the time think is best for the series. And so you're going to get lots of different types of games, and it's the differences between the games that really define the series.
ただ両方ともやっぱりプレイしていただければ分かると思うんですが、流れているファイナルファンタジーシリーズの匂いとか雰囲気感覚みたいなものは絶対共通点がすごくあるので、ぜひ改めて2タイトルともよろしくお願いします。
But while the titles may be very, very different, they're both going to have that significant Final Fantasy feel, and we hope that you enjoy both of them.
I will.
さて今ね北瀬さんにコメントいただいてますが、もうちょっとサプライズであとお二人、メッセージいただいてますので続けてご紹介しようかと思います。
All right, and so we had that video message from Kitase-san, but actually we have two more video messages from another special pair. This is going to be a little bit of a surprise, so let's take a look.
皆さんこんにちは。プラチナゲームズ代表の稲葉です。ファイナルファンタジー
Why are you here?
近づいてまいりました。この度ですね、ご縁がありまし
Oh,
て、
that's cool.
プラチナ
That's
ゲームズ
smart.
はこのファイナルファンタジー16の制作一部を
Platinum Games and Square Enix have been a little bit closer together lately. They worked on, unfortunately, the massive flop that was Babylon's Fall together. I wonder if Babylon's Fall had problems because staff were pulled to work on Final Fantasy 16.
ということで、僕もそうなんですけれども、制作スタッフたちが非常に興奮してですね、ぜひともやりたい、やらせてくださいということで、このような取り組みが実現しました。プラチナゲームズ側の制作スタッフ、制作チームを率いてくれたのは、ニーヤオートマタでもスクエアエニックスと一緒に仕事をした田浦君。彼が制作チームのリーダーとしてゴリゴリと制作を進めてくれて、僕たちの担当したパートはその結果すごくいいクオリティになったんじゃないかなと思っております。でそういう形でクリエイターとしてもですね、ドキドキ感を味わえる仕事をファイナルファンタジー16という舞台の上でやらせていただきましたが、今回は一部の制作ですので、この映像をご覧になっているファイナルファンタジーファンの皆さんの、
Well, thank you for the work that you did do.
僕たちも、一ファンとして、コンテンツを楽しめると思っております。そういう形で、クリエイターとしてもユーザーとしてもこのファイナルファンタジー16という素晴らしい世界を、一緒に楽しみたいと思っております。この度は本当におめでとうございます。
はい、皆さんこんにちは。キンダムハーツ4コーディレクターの安江です。今回のファイナルファンタジー16の開発には実はキンダムハーツの開発チームも参戦して、バトルパ
They
ー
had
ト
talked about in an interview when they got the Capcom guy for that did Devil May Cry that when Yoshi P got approval for Final Fantasy 16 in terms of the style of game they wanted, they realized that they didn't have enough people that were talented at making action games, so they had to go find people, which is why they got the Devil May Cry guy. It doesn't surprise me that they also pulled from their other resources such as Kingdom Hearts and Platinum Games.
無謀ではあるけれども、最終的には開発を通してね、得るものがありました。いよいよですね、発売間近、ファイナルファンタジー16ですけど、ある意味作り方常識破りですけども、だからこそですね、特別な体験ができるゲームに仕上がったと
So
思うの
many
で、
games are made from a collaboration of teams and companies
ありがとう
now.
ございました。
Yoshida-san, they're not CBU3.
Yes, not CBU3.
Is that okay?
いや今回本当にファイナルファンタジーシリーズ初めてリアルタイムアクションというものにすごい本気でチャレンジをして、できるだけたくさんの
CBU3 is only so
バトルコン
big.
テンツボスバトルっていうのをダイナミックに皆さんにお届けしようと思った時に、やっぱり僕ら CBU3 だけではなく、例えば今コメントにあったプラチナゲームズさんとか やっぱりスクエアエニックスで一番アクションにね秀でてるといえばキングダムハーツチームなので、ちょっと皆さんのお力も借りてですね、すごい FF を作りたいですっていう話をさせてもらったっていうことになってます。
And so, since the production scale of Final Fantasy XVI was so massive, and it was the first time that we were trying to create this full real-time action game, we knew that we couldn't do it by ourselves. And so we reached out to these companies, such as Platinum Games, who's known for their action games, as well as the Kingdom Hearts team, which is known for their action content as well, and asked them to help us come together and create something truly impressive.
This translator is amazing. He's taking short notes of what Yoshi P is saying, and Yoshi P was speaking paragraphs.
ゲームの一部だけを担当するみたいなお仕事の受け方はねされてないというふうにさっき稲葉さんもおっしゃってた通り、ただファイナルファンタジー16、吉田さんたちがそこまで本気でやるっていうんだったら力を貸すよと快くね言ってくださいました。キングダムハーツチームもね。こんなめちゃくちゃなゲーム作るんだったら一応やったるかっていう風にやってくださったので、東京と大阪っていう距離のある開発でしたが、力を合わせてファイナルファンタジー16作ってきました。
So asking these teams to kind of partially produce something for a large-scale title like this is usually something they don't do. They usually create their own games. And so, as they mentioned in their videos, they were kind of reluctant to help us out. But once they heard about what we wanted to do and they got on board, they decided to go all out. And they went all out. They realized we were serious, and so they went crazy as well. It was really difficult. Both of their offices are in Osaka. We're in Tokyo. But we didn't let the distance hamper us, and we got together and we created something truly great.
おかげさまでとてつもない規模のゲームに仕上がったと思ってます。改めて2チームにお礼を申し上げます。
And again, we couldn't have achieved the scale that we did on Final Fantasy XVI without their help, so we really, really want to thank them for their assistance.
I've talked previously about how Final Fantasy XVI is probably going to set a new standard for AAA games today.
Really incredible to work with those teams.
もちろん2チームとも
And this is just feeding more into that belief.
ボリュームのバトルコンテンツをそれぞれ企画してきてくださって、ベータフェーズぐらいまでね一緒に作ってもらって、その後 CPU3 の方で引き取ってブラッシュアップして完成させるっていう作り方をしてたんですけど、もう作り上げる最後のフィニッシュをする CPU3 の担当者たちがもうみんなボロボロになって仕上げてたので、凄まじい内容になってます。
I mean, we worked on them from the very, very early parts of development and asked them to create all these things, and they created them right up to the beta versions. And once they had created these beta versions, they passed them over to us. But when we got them and we looked at just the amount of content, the crazy things that they had done, it was a lot of work to get that in the game and get it working because they had done such a great job. And so again, we thank them so much.
Man, that must be like, well, he just said that it was really difficult, but I can't imagine taking a huge chunk of like designed game and trying to fit it into your box. Thanks for building this. I got to figure out where it goes in my machine now.
We can't tell you exactly what parts they did work on, but once the game is released, we'll give all that information, so don't worry.
Cool.
では続いて
So much transparency.
今日多分一番大切なお知らせに移らせていただこうと思います。
All right, so now let's move on to today's most important announcement.
大変お待たせしました。
Is it the plushies?
リリースのお知らせとなります。
Oh, it's the demo. Okay.
That's right.
大変お待たせしましたが、ファイナルファンタジー16の体験版デモバージョンをですね、全世界同時に6月12日、明日北米だと明日ですかね、配信を開始させていただきます。
I haven't played the demo. I don't plan on it because the game releases in a couple of days.
The Final Fantasy XVI demo is finally here and releasing tomorrow.
で全世界の、配信スケジュールはこのようになってます。
So let's take a look at the schedule tomorrow.
But I have seen people describing the demo as one of the best video game demos ever.
So here in Los Angeles, 1 a.m. So it really is just tomorrow.
我々拠点にしている東京はですね、もう12日になっているので、東京は夕方ですね、午後5時に、配信をスタートさせていただきます。
In Tokyo, it's already the 12th in Tokyo, but 5 o'clock tonight is when the demo drops.
すでにですね24時間配信まで切っておりますが、今表示されている各国の時間より順次ダウンロード開始となりますので、ちょっとご注意ください。
All right, so we're already less than 24 hours away, and players will be able to start downloading, but they may not be able to start downloading at the exact moment the downloads start.
一応僕らこの時間に合わせてこうスイッチオンってするんですけど、サーバーにアップされてこう順次ダウンロード開始になっていくので、数分から数十分もしかしたらちょっとシステム上の都合でラグがある可能性があるので、落ちてこないぞってならないようにぜひご注意ください。
All right, and so, but we have this magical switch that when it becomes the right time, we press this magical switch, and then all of the magic happens and all of the demos go down into the servers. It may take a couple minutes for your download to start, so if you get online at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're like, where is it? Where's my demo? Don't worry, calm down. 1, 2, 10 minutes, it'll be ready.
ではこの体験版の内容についてちょっとお伝えしていこうと思います。
All right, so now that we know when it's coming, we want to know what's going to be in the demo.
まずこちらから説明していきます。
All right, allow me to explain.
まずですね、ファイナルファンタジー16のオープニングにあたるプロローグ部分、2時間から約2時間半ぐらいのゲームプレイを製品版と全く同じ状態で皆さんにお届けします。
So first off, the demo allows you to start a new game of Final Fantasy XVI and play the opening prologue as is.
そしてですね、当然こちらセーブデータ製品版へ引き継ぎ可能になっておりますので、オープニングをまさにこの体験版でプレイしていただいて、その続きから製品版遊べるようになっております。
And of course, the save data can be carried over to the full game, so you'll be able to continue your journey where you left off on June 22nd.
It's such a smart thing to do that. Because one, if you have a good opening hook, then you've already hooked them, and they get to carry over the data. Not every demo does that, and it's unfortunate.
It's going to be great for you guys to get into the game and see what we have in store for you with the story of Final Fantasy XVI through this opening prologue.
オープニングということで丸々2時間がプロローグのような形になってるんですが、その分ちょっとカットシーンは多めです。ぜひですね、ファイナルファンタジー16の世界観を知り、クライブの旅のスタートとなる出来事というのをぜひ目撃していただければと思います。
Because this is the prologue, again, it's a little bit over 2 hours of gameplay. It's going to be a little bit heavy on cutscenes because we're introducing the story to you. So you're going to learn about the world and you're going to learn about what drives Clive.
そしてですね、これで実はデモ版終わりじゃないです。
But that's not all we have for you in the demo.
今ご紹介したこのプロローグクリアした状態になると、もう一つコンテンツがオープンするようになってます。
So once you complete the opening prologue, that will unlock a second portion of the demo.
It's the icon battle, right?
していただくとですね、スペシャルバトルデモというもう一つのコンテンツがオープンするようになっています。
So once you clear that opening, it will unlock a special battle demo available from the title screen.
タイトル画面に戻っていただければ
That demo part is probably from a later section in the game, which is why it is a special unlock and also doesn't have any save progress.
クライブの使う召喚獣アクションどうしても少なくなってます。なのでもっとバトル触りたい、もっとバトルを確認してみたいという方のためにある程度育った状態のクライブというのをこのバトルデモの方でお確かめいただけるようになってます。
And so, because Clive is still young at the beginning of the story, he is very limited in what type of actions and abilities that he has. And so, we wanted to give you a better feel of what the combat is going to be like later in the game. And that's what this battle demo is for.
プレイヤーの皆さんがね、そのバトルの手触りっていうのを楽しんでいただけるために、ストーリーの進行よりももう少し、クライブの召喚獣アビリティアンロックした状態になってますので、ぜひこのバトルデモで、僕らが目指してきたバトルの奥の深さとともにアクセシビリティ、いろんなプレイヤーの方に、サポートアクセサリーつけることでバトル楽しんでもらえますよと、そういったチェックもできるようになってます。
And so numerous abilities that are only usable later in the game have been unlocked in this demo. So players can experience the frenetic combat featured in the game and what we really were aiming for with the combat of Final Fantasy XVI. Players will be able to play this content over and over, and so we want you to get a feel of the abilities and find out what fits best for you. The timely accessories will also be there to let you try out which ones you like and which ones you don't need. It's all there.
このバトルでもエリアがですね夜の城へ侵入するというシーンなので若干暗いです。ただ真っ暗ってわけじゃないのでこのゲーム中で最も暗いバトルエリアのテストだと思って遊んでみてください。多分遊んでみたらなんか思ってたよりそんなに暗くないわと多分思っていただけると思います。
Okay, and so we want to know just one thing, that the area in this combat demo is a very dark stronghold that also takes place in the night, so it is one of the darkest areas in the game. And so don't go in thinking, man, Final Fantasy 16, everything is so dark, I can't see. It's okay, it's only this level, and actually it's not even that dark. You can think of this demo as kind of like a test. How dark can Final Fantasy 16 be? This is the level.
What are your TV settings wrong?
体験版は LA 時間では明日午前1時に配信スタートとなります。皆さんがバリスゼアでの第一歩をお楽しみくださることを願っております。
All right, again, this demo is due to be released starting tomorrow at 1 a.m. LA time, and so we hope you enjoy your first steps into the world of Alistair.
What's the giant cannon they got to the left side of the stage there? That's just like a fog gun?
We finally able to get that off our chests and talk about the demo. But we've forgotten one thing. Right here? Right here. What about this? Right here. Torgal. Big announcement.
Yeah. トルガルはね、こう主人公クライブの相棒で、
They're so expensive. They're like $150. Square Enix tax coming in strong on the Torgal plushes.
So as you know, this is Torgal. You know, protagonist Clive sees his bestest partner. A lot of people think he's a dog. He's actually a wolf. And we found that he's very, very popular, even though the game's not even out. Torgal's already become one of the most popular characters in the series. Because he's so cuddly.
We like puppos. The big one's 120. It's a lot.
And so we've had people from around the world say, when are we going to get to buy Torgal? Take my money. And so we worked hard with the merchandising team and...
頑張って、
The little guy is $40. That's more approachable, but he's a little too generic puppy looking, where the big one has more personality in it. But that's such a hefty cost.
You can pre-order not just the puppy, but also the adult Torgal. Both are available today.
もちろんゲームの中でもトルガル可愛がってあげることができるので、
There's a Moogle figurine too, but it's $65. Ouch. Fucking Square Enix. Jesus Lord.
トルガルのねぬいぐるみも手に入れて実際にねその手でも可愛がってあげてください。
Alright, and of course, you know, you can pet Torgal in the game as well, but why pet Torgal only in the game when you can pet him in real life? Pre-order today.
Give us your money.
まあグッズチーム頑張ったので、まあ他にもプリオーダーかかるグッズが
They aren't set to release until January 2024.
But in addition to the Torgal plushes, we have a few more items to announce
It's really late.
まあまあ僕今ここにつけてるペンダント、これクライブ
That pendant is probably $240.
になってます。
Okay, and so the pendant that
Square
I'm
Enix's
wearing today,
jewelry is obnoxiously expensive.
Clive's ear cuff that he wears in game. It's the pendant version.
で僕はイヤーカフしないのでネックレスにしてもらったやつをつけてます。
And personally, I don't wear ear cuffs. That's why I had them make the necklace. But we do also sell the ear cuffs.
まああとはね。
For $179.99.
のモーグリなんですけど。
The Wings of Promise pendant, probably.
なんか14でも見たようなデザイン。
And then we have our
$249. I was really close.
Kind of look familiar to the Final Fantasy 14 Moogles, maybe.
まあこれらのグッズはですね、ぜひ製品版発売 してプレイをしていただいて、
The cuff
それ
pendant
ぞ
is the
れ
same
のキャラ
price?
クターに
Gross.
行ってもらえて
That's
思い入れがで
disgusting.
きたよという後でこういったグッズがあるなというふうに記憶しておいていただければと思い
The
ます。
cuff by itself is $120. They're charging you $130 for a metal rope.
It would be great if you could also purchase them.
Please buy them.
ではこれ
Please.
にてですね、
They're
僕から
overpriced.
一番大事なね体験版のお知らせできましたので、オープニングを締めていきたいと思います。
All right, and so that's it with our big announcements. So let's wrap up the opening and move on to the rest of the panels.
この後はですね、メインディレクターの高井と、それからコンバットディレクターの鈴木亮太、そしてマックスさんの、バトルコンテンツのパネルを行ってまいります。
All right, and first up is our battle session with our director Takai-san, our combat director Suzuki-san, and the streamer Maximilian Dude.
どうやら相当難しい S ランクのモンスターみたいなのに立ち向かうっぽいので。
Yoshi P's got so many excellent
It
rings
looks like
on.
they're probably going to be concentrating on fighting one of the most difficult S rank monsters in the game, so that should be fun.
ぜひ引き続きお楽しみください。
All right, so please look forward to it.
では最後にもう一つ、ファイナルファンタジー16のメインテーマを歌ってくださっている日本を代表するアーティストである米津玄師さんから、メッセージ届いておりますので、最後にそちらをご覧いただきながら、僕のステージ終わりとしたいと思います。
And so before we go, we did receive one last special message from our friend and Japanese recording artist Kenshi Yonezu-san, the singer of Final Fantasy XVI's main theme song. So please enjoy it, and we'll see you back soon.
米津玄師です。この度ファイナルファンタジー16のテーマソングを担当させていただきました。ファイナルファンタジーは子供の頃からとても大きな影響を受けてきたので、まさかこういう、お話をいただけるとは夢にも思っておらず、とても光栄です。主題歌を作るにあたって、一つ先にプレイをさせていただいたんですけれども、まさにこういうファイナルファンタジーを、待ち望んでいたという、そういう感じにさせてくれる非常に素晴らしい、ゲームでした。よろしくお願いします。米津玄師でした。
It's cool that like everyone involved is just a fan of the franchise.
Reminder, for those of you with tickets, the signing session will begin outside shortly.
Who is this narrator? Dude. Dude sounds like if Jason Statham wasn't trying so hard. Maybe right here? I know I saw the screen change, so we'll see what it changes to. But I mentioned earlier, I was trying not to overtalk too much because I know that could be difficult for people to listen to. Final Fantasy 16, with the way that they've been marketing this and the way that Yoshi P has been talking about it, I do expect Final Fantasy 16 to kind of set like a new standard when it comes to AAA games. This game, like, it went gold 2 months ahead of time. They said that the game was in such a polished state that they didn't feel the need to do a day one patch. Now that said, there is a day one patch, but it's really small and is for a bit of performance improvements. But the game doesn't need it the way that some other games really need their day one patch. It's only like 300 megabytes out of the 120 gigabytes or something massive that this game is. And they have been very open, very honest, very transparent about it. It doesn't have any microtransactions that have been announced. They said they have no planned DLC for the game. The game in the box is the game. Like, you shouldn't need any more than that. There's not going to be a server that shuts down later. You're not going to have DLC that's locked behind a paywall. At least these are not promises. These are just things that they have said in the past, right? Oh, sorry. These are just things that they have said in the past. And so with that in mind, it's like that's a hefty statement that you're making. That's not a small claim to make. And so with them saying that and saying, you know, this is what we're going to be going after, this is the quality level that we're producing, and then for them to get on stage and be like, hey, not only have we been putting our best people on this, but we also reached out to other people. We reached out to Platinum Games. We went and got the guy that did Devil May Cry from Capcom. We reached out to our Kingdom Hearts team because we didn't want to constrain the quality and power that this game could have by only doing it ourselves, and being more willing to relinquish the work where we need to create the best product imaginable. So when you have the people that are willing to do those things and are that committed to the game in such a way, that is such a defining trait of what this game could be. Now, people have also talked about the demo, because I'm watching this several days late, and the demo is over 2 hours long, includes the bonus battle, and everything that I've seen from people talking about the demo is that it's one of the best demos of all time in terms of video game quality, and that it is just such a great representation of the game and makes you want to buy the game, which is what you would want to see out of a demo, right? That it is gripping and enthralling and engaging, and that's really incredible to see too. And I feel like through everything that they've been saying, they're going to achieve a height that Square Enix has not had for a very, very long time, if not ever, with the way that Final Fantasy 16 is kind of starting to come across. Now, the game hasn't released yet, so I could absolutely be wrong. I hope not, because I would love for this to be like one of the greatest RPGs that's ever made, because that means that I'm here to play it, right? And that's really freaking awesome. But with the way, the confidence that they have, and it doesn't feel like smug corporate confidence of we are just being confident in hopes of getting sales. It is pride of that we feel we have done our best work. Socken, no, not Socken, the what's his name? The combat director of Final Fantasy 16, who was the lead for Devil May Cry, in interviews since this celebration stream, he has said it has been like his life's honor to work on Final Fantasy 16, and he does believe that Final Fantasy 16 is his masterpiece, the best work that he's ever done. Which, when you're the guy that made Devil May Cry, and Devil May Cry 5 was a massive critical success on every standing, and especially from people saying it has some of the greatest action combat in the history of video games, for the guy that made that to go, I did make that, and it's really good. This is better. I could never make better than this. This is my magnum opus. This is my masterpiece. This is my life's work. That is such a powerful statement. And for him to make that statement, and the amount of confidence and pride and just excitement that they have for their own game, also leads me to further believe that it's going to be... Was that me? To further believe that it is going to be a really exceptional video game, just overall. So, super cool, really excited to see it, and I'm ready to see more of it as soon as we actually get to the point when the showcase is. I don't know what made that noise. Hang on just a second. I'm going to look around and see if I got anything that's like got a notification ding on it. My stream alerts are muted, so I don't know what made that noise. I have no idea. Okay. Let me turn this up a little bit more, and then we will get to maybe here. Nope. Sound like Stream Raiders gifted skin? That wouldn't make sense though. You can't gift oh, I guess maybe it was yours, Athena, because there is this screen, well, not this screen, this screen that has your Stream Raiders on it, so maybe it was it. I don't know. I'd be surprised if it made noise when there's no Stream Raider stuff on this screen. I have no idea. I'm not going to worry myself too much about it, but that was strange. All right, I see people sitting on couches.
Please, welcome to the stage main director Hiroshi Takai, combat director Ryota Suzuki, and content creator Maximilian Dude.
Jason Statham pops from behind the mic tearfully. What do you mean? Hello there. Congratulations, Max. This is probably one of the highest peaks for him personally. Not overall, because he's done some pretty incredible things, like bring back KI and Twitch rivals for Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff, but this is definitely a very special moment, right?
Hi everyone, my name is Maximilian Dude, and I'm a content creator, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Takai-san and Suzuki-san today on stage, and I'm just a big fan of action games, fighting games, things with combat. Good to see you all here.
Okay, just before we go, I want to let you know that we have a lot of fans watching in Japan, so we're going to have the lovely Ellen here to help us out with translation from English to Japanese.
Cool.
So if I could pick it up from there. 皆さんこんにちは。私はマクシミリアン・ドゥードと申しましてコンテンツクリエイターをさせていただいております。今日はこのステージにて高井さんと鈴木さんに一緒に立てることができて非常に光栄でとても嬉しく思っております。私はすごいアクションゲーム、格闘ゲーム、とりあえずコンバットが大好きなので非常に楽しみにしております。よろしくお願いします。
いやとんでもないです。一緒のステージに上がれるってことは僕たちの方が楽しみにしてました。
And again, it's us who are very, very excited to be on stage with you, Maximilian.
Everyone's fans of one another.
対戦格闘ゲームだったりとかアクションゲームが大好きで、マックスさんの動画は今までたくさん見させていただいて、今回一緒にステージに立てることを光栄に思ってます。ありがとうございます。
And I myself love action games, I love 2D fighting games, and I love your videos. Watch them all the time.
As Max just starts crying.
Knowing that devs are out there paying attention to content creators alike, there's a relationship there, that's really special. So, since a lot of you guys have seen my content, you know I'm into things like fighting games, action RPGs, and I have a special admiration for how the combat in all of these games plays out. And from everything that we've seen so far in the videos and trailers for Final Fantasy XVI, some of my favorite bits have been watching one-on-one combat with other human enemies and seeing how they react. We see a dragoon fight in some situations. In other moments, we've seen a forest where there's like a ninja, really cool moves.
I'm thinking the same thing right now with it. I'm like, Max, you're still talking, and Ellen has to translate all of that.
ありがとうございます。そう言っていただいて非常に光栄です。開発者とともにコンテンツクリエイターとして関係性を築いていくことが非常に大事だと思っておりますので、すごくありがたいお言葉です。そして私の動画を見てくださっているということであれば、本当にその格闘ゲーム、アクションゲーム、アクション RPG その中の戦闘システムに非常に興味を持っているっていうこともご存知ではないかなと思うんですけれども、16に関しても今まで見てきたその動画とかトレーラーの中ではもう本当に素晴らしいコンバットが入っているのではないかなっていうふうに思っております。で個人的にすごい気に入っているのが、その1対1人間の相手に対してなんていうかと戦うシーンがすごく面白いんじゃないかなというふうに思っておりますので、なんていうかその竜騎士とか森の中で忍者と戦うっていう場面もあったんですけれども、すっごいかっこいい技がたくさん使われていて非常に楽しみにしております。
Oh my god! That was amazing. Good work. He said so many things.
っていうシステムになっているので、マックスさんのご指摘の通り、本当にその点は楽しんでもらえるんじゃないかなと思ってます。
With our player versus enemy battle system, we created this type of system that's going to be interesting. No matter what type of enemy you're going to fight, you're going to find a lot of different experiences depending on what you fight. We think we have something really special.
あとゲーム内の戦闘場面に関しては本当ゲームをプレイしているだけじゃなくゲームを見てる人でもこうゲーム画面が魅力的に見えるようにっていうのはもうチーム一同全力尽くして作ってきましたので、そう言っていただけると非常にありがたいです。
I mean, for the combat, we tried to create something that was not only exciting for the people playing, but also going to be visually stunning for the people watching.
Yeah, and I think from everything we've seen so far, that is front and stage in the center of the whole game.
The game's a spectacle.
Spectacle of it all. But I'm really curious. This is kind of a deviation of a lot of like mainline RPGs. It is not turn-based. It is focused on action. What were some of the key moments or key gameplay things you guys really wanted to hit when you were approaching this with a bigger action focus?
もうまさに今まで公開してきた情報を見てると本当にその努力を感じておりますし、アクションを見てるともうすごい大胆で見た目が素晴らしいというふうに感心しております。で少し質問させていただければと思うんですけれども、今回はちょっと他のメインライン RPG とちょっと違った点としてはもうアクションがもう前に出ていて一切ターンベースの要素を入れていないというふうになっていると思うんですけれども、その中でこのアクションの戦闘システムを作る上で絶対にこういう
I hope these translators were paid bank.
っていう思いに関して少し伺ってもよろしいでしょうか。
Like, I know the one dude is the localization director, right? I don't know if Ellen has a role beyond translating English to Japanese, but regardless, should be paid stacks.
そういう人たちが望んでいるものがどんな形だろうって考えたときに、やっぱりコントローラーを触ってこうアクションがダイレクトに反応して、そしてリアクションがダイレクトに返ってくる、こういうゲームっていうものが一番まず望まれている方が多いだろうと思ってアクションゲームっていうものを選択してます。
So first and foremost, when we're designing this combat system, is that we wanted to bring in, as many players to the Final Fantasy series and to this full-time action experience as possible. And so we looked towards, action games out there. What do action game players want in their games? And we wanted to create something that felt good and felt you're getting direct feedback from the controller, and something that feels very visceral and very direct. And that's what we wanted to create.
その上でやはり手触りっていうものはすごい大事にしているので、クライブが本当にもう自分かのように動かせるような手触りっていうのも大事に作ってきましたし、あとは、遊んでいただけるプレイヤーの皆さんごとにもういろんなカスタマイズ、そしてどんな遊び方、我々も想像できないようなプレーを見せてもらえるようなシステムっていうものを構築できるよう努力しました。
I mean, again, it's very important about how that combat feels, and so we wanted to create something that felt really, really good, and so we focused a lot of our development on that. We also focused on making the system fully customizable, because we know that there are a lot of different players out there, and we know that there's going to be a lot of different play styles and a lot of different combinations. So we wanted to make something that's fully customizable so that players can put together combinations that maybe we didn't even think of.
Interesting. That could mean so many
That
things.
sounds really exciting. I think everything that you're looking for from an action game is that degree of customization, being able to go in and tailor your own play style to what the game is presenting you.
もうすごい今のなんていうか話を聞いてすごく納得できます。やはりプレイヤーとしてアクションゲームから一番求めているところっていうのはそのカスタマイズできる部分、自分のプレイスタイルに合わせてプレイできるっていうところなので、とても素晴らしい答えでした。ありがとうございます。
コンバットディレクター的には
そうですね、やっぱり今回リアルタイムアクションっていう形でコンバットを構成しているので、本当にアクションが苦手な人からアクションが得意なヘビーユーザーさんまで、楽しんでいただけるようにコンバットを設計してます。ぜひファイナルファンタジー16を普段アクションゲームを遊ばない方に僕としてはぜひ遊んでいただきたいなと思っています。それが遊べるだけのコンバットシステムは構築できていると思っていますので、はい。
Because Final Fantasy XVI, it's our first time going into this real-time action, we wanted to create something that, again, was going to be really exciting for action players, but we also realized that, there are a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there that aren't that good at action games, that aren't that familiar with action games. So we wanted to create something that felt good for them as well, and create this system that felt very balanced, and it felt like it was for everyone. And I think that we've really done that, and we hope that through Final Fantasy XVI, we've created a game that can bring fans maybe that didn't like action games and learn to love action games through Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to eventually getting our hands on the game and trying out some stuff, because if there's one thing I love about action games is a challenge.
もう本当にもうアクションゲームが大好きな人としては早く手に取ってプレイしてみて自分のプレイスタイルをいろいろ発見していってもうなんていうかチャレンジに難しいコンテンツにいろいろなんていうかやっていきたいなっていう気持ちでいっぱいです。
ありがとうございます。それではこれまであまり長い時間でこうバトルをじっくり見せる機会っていうのがなかなか我々も提示できていなかったので、今回はバトルのゲームプレイ、実際にプレイしているところを皆さんに見ていただこうと思ってます。
So far in our promotion, we haven't really had the time to show combat in depth for a long period of time. So we'd really like to do that here for you guys today.
Yes, please.
準備はよろしいでしょうか。
So you guys ready?
じゃあ今日どんなことをしようかと思っているかというと、まずステートオブプレイをご覧いただいてない方のためにちょっと簡単に説明させていただくと、ステートオブプレイでは本作のモブハントのシステムについて紹介しました。
All right, so for those players and people here that haven't been able to watch the state of play yet, we recently revealed the hunt system, where players can visit this hunt board to gain information on marks.
プレイヤーの方々はリスキーモブ掲示板を通して
Same way that Final Fantasy 14 and Final Fantasy 15 has. It's okay. They're good ideas because they just give you bonus objectives and bonus challenges for bonus rewards.
So by visiting the hunt board in the hideaway, players can gain information on marks that are terrorizing the land that need to be slain and go out and search them and slay them.
はい。でこのリスキーモブ掲示板で討伐する対象になるモンスターに関しては敵の強さによってランクを分けてます。C ランクから S ランクまで分類されてますね。なので今回はぜひマックスさんにこのハントに挑戦していただければなと思っております。
All right, and so on the hunt board, these notorious marks all have different kinds of ranks, from rank C being the bottom, all the way up to rank S. So Max, what do you want to try out?
Yeah, okay. So S rank is pretty high, and I'm thinking this sounds kind of exciting. You guys want to see some crazy fights? And
You're gonna let me choose?
Right,
we're gonna choose the hardest shit we can find.
We're close to the level of the developers on the game, but I will give it my best. Before we do this, we talked about customization. Do we have an opportunity to set up icon powers and moves?
はい、それではぜひハントに行かせていただければと思います。で、せっかくの機会ですし、もう S ランクってちょっと怖そうなんですけれども、行ってみますか？じゃあ行きましょうか。はい、ただもちろん私はここにいる開発者の皆さんと
Imagine just chatting if you chose anything less than S
上
rank.
手じゃなくて全然
You're unbelievable,
及ばないんですけれども、挑戦してみたい
weak,
と思います。ただその前にちょっとカスタマイズできるっていう話も先ほどさせていただいたんですけれども、ちょっとその設定もさせていただくことは可能でしょうか？
もちろんです。じゃあそこから始めたいと思いますので、ゲーム画面の方出していただいていいでしょうか？
All right, we'll let you customize just this time though. All right, let's bring up the game screen.
Yeah, it's one time.
複数の召喚獣アビリティをもう開放しているデータになっていますので、まず
We're only gonna be on this stage once, so I guess we could let you do it this time.
するのか好きなものを選んでいただきたいと思います。
All right, so we have multiple
This is a beautiful
icons unlocked
overlay.
for you here, and you can pick the ones you'd like in your loadout and the abilities, the gear and
Max
icons.
does have the benefit that he's been invited to Square Enix's studios to play the game itself. He has played Final Fantasy 16 before, so he does have the ability at least to be able to make the adjustments. He knows what he's doing a little bit, right?
目標なので転生の炎を設定します。
And on Garuda, I think I'm also going to try Aerial Blast. I think this is where we're going. This one has a lot of damage associated, I believe.
で、ガルダの方でもその
He won't have to sit and read what everything does. Right, exactly, because he's played hours of the game already from preview events, and I think that that's really beneficial for this showcase.
最高技ばっかり選んでますね。
So you're choosing all of the strongest attacks,
Yeah,
bringing out the
yes.
big guns.
Yes.
Okay.
Full berserk class.
もうなんていうかゴリ押しでいきます。
やられる前にやるですね。
That's right.
And what I did also notice is that certain abilities can actually be mixed and matched. So when I believe you find a mastery of an ability, you're allowed to put that on something that might not normally allow it. For example, we have Titan here. I am going to put Judgment Bolt. Oh.
気づいたことがあるんですけれども、
I'll still have the block. It's okay.
16の中ではアビリティを強化するシステムがあるんですけれども、マスターするといつもとは違う召喚獣に設定することができるっていうことに気づいたので、ここはタイタンの枠にさばきのイカズチをセットします。
3つの召喚獣までしかクライブは装備できないんですけど、大技を4つ装備したいので、こうマスター化してさばきのイカズチも持っていくってことですね。素
So
晴らしい。
basically, what you've done is, even though you can only channel 3 icons, you've channeled those 3 icons and then mastered the 4th icon's best attack. And so now you have the best attacks of 4 icons on 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We see.
I'm really curious if there's a hidden 9th icon
結構長けてるカスタマイズ内容だと思うんで、まあこれも
that we'll find later in the game.
一つの形かなとは思いますね。
I mean, I guess this is one way to do it. I mean, you're going all out. We'll see how he does.
Because in terms of like the normal summons that are in Final Fantasy, there's some of the mainstays that are missing, right? Like Leviathan isn't up there, and Leviathan's been around a long time. And I didn't think initially, I was like, they probably didn't put Leviathan in because Leviathan was such a huge part of Final Fantasy 15, but who knows, right? There could be other hidden things in there.
というふうに思っております。これで準備完了だと思うんですけれども、ここからはモーグリにちょっと話しかけた方がいいかしら。
そうですね。一回モーグリに話しかけてもらって掲示板を開いていただけますか。
All right. Yeah. So let's just let everyone see what the hunt board actually looks like.
Moogle. That's all we care about.
He's so cute considering how dangerous this is about to be.
もう本当にこれから危険な旅に行くんですけれども、可愛いんですよねこの子は。
このようにモーグリに話しかける
The
と、
breaker of
モンスターたちが指名手配されてます。
All right, so when you open the hunt board, it looks like this. You will see the billets showing the different notorious marks that are out there. I see you're on an S rank run here.
もうマックスさん S ランクのモンスターをカーソルを合わせてますね。
I mean, it looks like you're ready for the S rank. You're not going to even.
I think I would disappoint so many people if we didn't go immediately to the hardest, most difficult thing.
We got limited time. We're gonna make this time worth it.
したいと思います。
All right.
じゃあ掲示板このモンスターのいるところにちょっと行きたいと思いますんで、一旦僕の方にちょっ
All
と
right, so because we don't want to have any spoilers, we're going to turn off the screen. Turn off the screen. Oh no, I guess we can keep it on. Oh no, we can keep it on. Yeah, we can keep it on. All right. We're going to jump.
ここまでは大丈夫。
Because we don't trust Max to go to the wrong place. Okay, you can bring the screen back up. That's okay.
さあ、まあ自分で本当に探しに行こうとすると意外と見つからないので、
Okay, here we go.
ここまではまあ僕の方でちょっと移動させてもらいましたが、ここからはマックスさんに探してもらいます。
See if he can find the mark.
頑張ってください。
まずはまっすぐちょっと、この村を出てもらえますか。
Go straight out of the village.
I was about to say, I think it's up to us to figure out where these creatures are. It didn't immediately pinpoint it.
いやでも普通でしたらプレイヤー自身がリスキーモブをちょっとそのヒントからいろいろ考えて探すっていうような仕組みなんですよね。
そうですね。ただ今日は時間の都合上ちょっとショートカットしています。
Yeah, I mean, we don't have much time here today, so we're kind of skip that. We'll tell you where this one is.
Thank you.
ありがとうございます。
ちょっとねここ今あいにくの空模様で曇りなんですけど、まあ天気のいい瞬間も見れたりするんで。
Is this the new game they're playing through? Yeah, Final Fantasy 16. This is part of the pre-launch celebration that was held a few days back. I missed it, so we're watching it now. And this game releases in like 2 days. So.
I mean, if you're tired of running, you could always ride a chocobo.
I can press the R3 button. Okay.
Yeah.
じゃあ R3 押してみます。
Hi. Bo 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 chocobo.
じゃあもうチョコボに乗ったらもうモンスター。
That is a properly sized chocobo.
Yeah. Don't bother with any of those other monsters. Just go.
I'll do my best.
You're gonna turn right. It's gonna be a turn right. Oh, there we go.
そして
turn.
No, there's spoilers to the left. Don't go that way.
Go straight.
Okay.
Go straight. Okay, straight.
We entered the land of spoilers.
No, don't look that way. Yes, I'm super ready for the game. I'm just hoping my copy gets here on time.
That's where we're going.
Yes.
Okay.
God.
It's getting a bit spooky out here. I'm just making a note that it's getting scary the closer we get.
でちょっとなんか雰囲気怖くなってきました。
まあここはちょっと滅んでしまったハイス
So
ポント
you do have party members in the game, but you only ever play as Clive.
危ないものは出てきますよね。
I mean, so currently you're in an abandoned village. I mean, you can probably figure out why it's been abandoned, possibly.
もうちょっとかな。
Almost there, and
Stop.
Slow down.
Talk.
They can see.
正面
In the back.
もうちょ
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Jill was fighting the.
ジルが殺そうとして。
Jill was trying to kill that fighter.
I'm assuming that's our target right there.
That's your target.
That target.
じゃあ I need moral support.
ちょっとここは。
I feel only slightly better. Okay, are we ready?
I feel a lot better.
Are we ready for this? Are we good?
Yeah, Sinister Snack. I have already reserved myself to, if there are shipping complications with my collector's edition, that I will just buy the game a second time digitally and download it to my PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, try your best.
Oh. It's a
My apologies
friend.
If I don't talk, I'm gonna be concentrating.
もうあんまりここからは発言するのはちょっと難しくなっちゃって集中しすぎてなので改めて
これレベル差が15あるんで本来だったらもうとても辛い戦いです。
So this battle, you have Clive at level 30. The level of Atlas is 45. So this is a big difference in level here. So this is a very, very difficult battle.
This is where one of the things that's really big with action games can come in, because as much as I love turn-based games, there isn't always a high skill ceiling for them, where action games, if you are good, you can overcome obstacles that otherwise shouldn't easily be able to be tackled.
戻ってくれば何度でも使えるのでこのようにどんどん大技使えるうちに叩き込んじゃうのも正解だと思います。
And so yeah, each of the big attacks have cooldowns. So you watch those cooldowns, and when you can use them again, use them again.
お、これはよくやられた。危ない。
Oh, oh no. Ow.
Nice.
Parry, very nice, good work. That stagger bar is getting low.
This Max guy's pretty good.
Max might play some video games on occasion.
そういった瞬間に
We got some Soulsian influence with the number of potions that you got on your D-pad down there. Jeez. Thank you for the lurk, Sinister.
So Final Fantasy
Good to
16
see you.
has a parry system. So if you time your attack at the moment that the enemy attacks, you will get that parry, and then you'll be able to deal even more damage. But it's very, very risky.
Oh, nice. Chance. Take down. Oh.
Hit him as hard as you can. That didn't feel hard enough. Oh man, you did so much, and his health bar is not small enough.
こうトータルのどんだけダメージを叩き込むことができたかっていうのが最後に表示されます。
Oh God!
When you stagger an enemy and is down, the damage that you deal while staggered is displayed at the end of the stagger.
Woo!
マックスさんちゃんと避けれるんで、なかなかこう負けずに戦えますね、これは。
So Max is doing very good at dodging these attacks, and that's why he's surviving for so long. So that's a very good strategy.
Oh! Limit break.
So he uses limit break.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Another perfect parry. Unloading damage. Max has already actually used more healing than you think, though. He's only got 3 heals left. And the enemy's not even half dead yet.
これ勝てちゃうんじゃないかな。
You think maybe Max is actually going to do this? I think he's going to do this.
さばきのイカズチはこのゲームの中でもかなり強いアビリティなんで、まめにダメージを与えていくと有効ですね。
Judgment bolts does a lot of damage in this game, so you want it when you want to finish it quickly. That's what you use.
Uh-oh. 2 potions left. Oh no, 5. He's also got high potions. Oh shit, that hurt. High potion.
I'm sorry about the dog. Very sorry.
Don't get greedy, Max. I know he's almost at stagger, but
ただモンスターもヒットポイント
that
が
ate
減って
so
く
much of
る
your
とだ
healing.
んだんちょっといやらしい攻撃をするようにはなって。
Oh yeah.
Of course, as the enemy's hit points go down, the enemy starts, doing some pretty unfair attacks. So we'll see what happens.
Down.
Oh.
でもちゃんと追い詰められた時にリミットブレイク発動してるんで。
That was a good chunk. That was a solid like 20%.
いける気がしますね。
Oh my god!
Oh, ow. What? Oh, he immediately went into another one. As Square Enix is like, he's making our game look so good. We picked the right guy. He's making it look great.
No healing.
No, you still got a little bit.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh.
You still got 2 high potions. Well, that healed you nice.
これは追い込んでる。
The dev say he does get nastier as his health goes down, which is very normal. Oh. The combo of the attacks of putting down the AoEs and then doing the arena-wide swipe is nasty.
So I really tried there.
Yeah, you did. You did great.
That boss is, I think, 15 levels above where we're currently at this point in the game.
You did
but
great.
I would love to know if Suzuki-san possibly can you show me a thing or two? Is it possible we can get developers to at least? I'd love to see how they play it differently than me.
で今はもうレベル15ぐらい差があって。
Gonna give it to the Devil May Cry combat director that is calling this game his masterpiece. Ready to watch a dude sleep his way through his own work.
どのようにプレイするのかっていうところをちょっと見せていただけますでしょうか。
了解しました。
Okay.
実は 実は最近この IGN ジャパンさんの方でこの S モブ動画の僕がプレイした動画ちょっと投稿させていただいたんですけどお願いして、ただこの鉄巨人戦僕しくったんですよね。
So recently, I actually did this challenge for IGN. They had a video where I did this battle, and I lost. And so I think I want some redemption.
Reminds me of Sakurai on Smash Brothers. He would play with 2 controllers like this on 2 controllers.
いや本当面白くなりそうですね。なんか食べながら見たいねこれは。
All right, yeah. So somebody bring me a beer. I'm ready to.
じゃあやってもらいましょうか。
Here we go.
He would just lay 2 controllers down on the desk and play them like they were freaking keyboards because he needed to be able to do both things.
Wouldn't it be funny if he lost here too? Huh?
ちょっとすみません、口数少なくなっちゃうと思うんですけど。
So I'm gonna refrain from speaking now. So.
So I'm really curious to see the differences in play styles. Like I was going for an all-out, crazy damage.
Oh, he immediately got hit though. He went for the high potion first. Just counter, counter, counter. He's also aggressive, but he's going for more counters than evasion. He's going for those parry hits. Using the block more.
Schwahn is a very technical fighter, and so he's going to have a lot of attacks with counters in them, like you saw.
I believe Titan has many physical counters, which is always fun in action games when you can switch.
He's using a lot more ranged attacks. Used his own projectile to eat the other one. Very cool. What is that? Did he just like grab it?
これ今引き倒しからガウジを使ってウィルゲージを結構多めに削るっていう感じですね。
So yes, when his will gauge was down to half, he used the deadly embrace to pull down the enemy and then hit him with gouge.
Holy shit!
今のは魔法攻撃をフェニックスのアビリティでカウンターして大きくダメージを跳ね上げてます。
And so what you saw there is he uses the Phoenix ability Heat Wave to cancel out the magic and then counter with 3 attacks.
He uses a lot more ranged attacks too. So it's kind of like a grab, kinda, yeah.
And so yeah, that was the counter as well. We've got lots of counter type of attacks for this game as well, just like you said.
He hasn't even activated his limit break though.
Oh,
what was that?
I'm seeing the biggest difference in game plan. He's doing a lot of will damage to eventually get them on the ground to do more damage, right?
Oh god! This dude's straight styling on people. Let me show you how I made my game. Max did a great job too, Nuzlocke, but this guy is showing it off in a completely different way.
That's when you want to deal the most damage because your damage goes up.
Max was showing it off from like a normal player's point of view, and then the combat director's like, yeah, let me show you what you can actually do in this shit though, if you wanna.
He's very, very nervous right now. So.
いやこれだけの皆さんの前で集大は晒したくないでしょう。
So yeah, I mean, we're in front of everyone here. We can't lose here. We gotta impress the.
That's actually a counter attack. I had no idea.
でも技もカウンターできるってすごいですよね。知りませんでした。
Did he even change? I don't think he even changed the abilities. I think he just took Max's abilities and was like, yeah, these will work.
I'd like to note how difficult this is. He's been working this creature and it's at 50% health.
でここはすごい難しいというか。
I didn't see him changing. I don't think he had time to change
い
anything.
ろんななんていうかすごい戦い方とか技を使っても。
Of course, I mean, I guess if you're the combat director, you better know how all of the combat abilities work. You might have some favorites, but in a general sense, it's just like, nope. I designed all of these, or was on the team that designed all of these. They will all do the job that I need them to do.
And again, it's that level difference right there. He's got that 15 levels. Also, he's only wearing level 30 gear, so his gear is going to be weaker as well.
I want to know what that is, because Max didn't activate that at all with like the timed bar. He also hasn't used his limit break at all.
So when you get good, that stagger damage, you can get that.
Oh no! You almost lost it. Oh, he's like, you got me once, but that's all you get is just one.
Keep in mind all of your abilities and if they're available when you eventually stagger the enemy.
いやもうなんていうか自分の頭の中でアビリティを整理してテイクダウン中に使えるものを取っておいてとかその戦略性をまあいろいろなんていうか考えながら戦うというのはすごく楽しいです。大好きです。
いやそう言っていただけるとすごい嬉しいですね。まあこの戦い方も一部の例ということなんでもっといろんな戦い方。
Oh, he did the grab move again. I don't know what that one is. That's sick though.
But again, this is only one way.
That's where Max lost it with that move. It was. It almost killed him too, but he had a little bit more life than Max had when he got hit.
先ほどのマックスさんと同じぐらいまでダメージを
Because it does a lot. It does like 1400. And that is, they have 900, 1400 HP.
That was close.
Like he's still technically within one-shot territory at his current HP. Counter, 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 counter. Combo breaker. Jesus.
これはリベンジなるか。
Kill him. Oh, now he activated the limit break. He waited until he believed that he could finish him off.
So yeah, when you stagger, when you use limit break, your attack power goes up. So using it when you've staggered will give you that extra damage.
Oh, is he done?
Damn, that looked awesome. Level up. 3 levels.
Got his revenge and leveled up.
こんな感じにレベル差が大きく開いてもこのプレイヤーのこうアクションスキルでちょっと乗り越えるとかっていうことも、まあこういう遊び方も一つのファイナルファンタジー16の魅力かなと思ってますね。
One of the great things about Final Fantasy 16 is that, you know, we have a level difference of 15 here. That's a great level difference. But depending on the player's skill, it's still something that's able to do.
It's tackleable.
That's what's one of the cool things about Final Fantasy 16.
You know, I think what I like the most about it is the difference in play style. I saw some really defensive stuff that is actually incredibly cool looking. Counters, parries, magic counters. Seeing all that play out in front of me is like, I think I'm going to be running that when it comes out.
いやもう本当に今のなんていうか戦いを拝見させていただいて思ったことなんですけれども、プレースタイルは本当にさまざまな違う形があるんだなっていうふうに感心しておりました。で先ほど鈴木さんのプレーの中ではその防御に長けた技をたくさん使用していたと思うんですけれども、まあカウンターだったりパリだったりその魔法のカウンターも入ってたんですけれども、まあ発売したら私もぜひこの戦いも一度戦ってみたいですね。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。マックさん自身も大変やっぱりゲームプレイがお上手で、正直我々あそこまでS ランクのモンスターを追い込めるとは正直思ってなかったんですけど、もうお見事でした。
Yeah, but you really surprised us with your play today, Max. We actually didn't think you were going to be able to do that well today. You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
We expected you to get murdered.
Tried my best. I just wanted to survive. But really, the pleasure is being able to share this stage with such incredible people. So thank you guys a ton for this.
はい、ありがとうございます。そう言っていただいて、まず目標としてはとりあえず生き残りたいとだけ考えてたんですけれども、それがちょっとね。でも本当に何よりも光栄な
Damn, that was so
何よりも
cool.
光栄なこととしては皆さんと一緒にステージに立てることができて本当に嬉しかったです。改めてありがとうございました。
こちらこそ本当に今日マックスさんと同じステージ立たせていただいて大変光栄でした。ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。
And thank you from us as well. We were very honored to be on the stage with you.
Thank you.
はい、それではこの後一旦小休憩挟みまして、その後アナラピアスさんとマイヒロのステージになりますので、お楽しみにお待ちください。
All right, so that's the end of our stage here today. Where it's time for us to take another short break, but please stay tuned for Alana Pierce, Maihiro-san, for our story and lore panel coming up next. Thank you.
Very, very cool. So here's one of the other things, and what I'm about to say is also stuff that they talked about, not during this presentation, but in interviews in the days since, because they've just been doing all of this type of big producer stuff, big PR moves and stuff like that. That's the far you've seen so far? Well, we got more. I'll skip forward to whatever is next in just a moment. But they also... So they talked about, we saw like the different job boards and stuff like that. So the game is also launching with a new game plus, which I say that and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's like some games don't get those anymore. Like God of War Ragnarok, it launched without new game plus and was added in later. It was free, but it was still added like DLC that you had to add on to an update of the game. Final Fantasy 16 is launching with an inbuilt new game plus option, and the new game plus includes a new difficulty mode. So the base game will have story focused and action focused, which is exactly how it sounds like. Story focused is going to be a easier to play version of the game to where you don't need to necessarily be as skilled or as talented of an action game player, so that you can still see the beauty of the game and experience the story. And they're going to be talking about the story here very, very soon. But then action focused is probably going to be more of like the normal part of the game, which is going to be where there's a heavier focus on skill-based combat, while still, of course, having all the story stuff. When you complete the game, you unlock New Game Plus, and New Game Plus has an additional difficulty, which is called Final Fantasy Mode, because of course it is. Now, Final Fantasy Mode is meant to be the hard mode, but on top of that, it is meant to also be a new experience. The game is not just more difficult. They have the Final Fantasy mode that'll be unlocked in New Game Plus changes aspects of the game compared to the standard playthrough of the game. You'll run into different enemies at different points in the game. Certain bosses will be replaced with other bosses. You will have different challenges along the way. So where at one time you fight like a big armored, Centurion guy, it might be replaced with like a full-on Iron Knight, the classic Final Fantasy enemy that looks very similar to Atlas that they just fought on the game. And so Final Fantasy mode will be not just a way to experience the game again, but also experience a different form of the game compared to the original base playthrough, which is wild, because that sounds like a whole new bit, right? That sounds like something that you would get added on later, and again, it's part of that base package. Again, part of kind of like the conversation that I had earlier about how this game is going to be so definitive if it delivers in the way that they have been presenting and talking about it, of something that will just be such a pillar of the way that we would like to see games released today. Because that's so cool. Not only is it a new game plus that you get to carry forward like your levels and abilities and your gear and stuff like that, but not only that is it going to be a completely retuned difficulty with new enemies and a new approach to where it will feel like a genuinely different playthrough while still being new game plus. Super, super cool. Really excited about it. Okay. Before I skip forward to the next part, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Cheers, stream! It was a very short one. Okay. Let's get this back up to volume. And let's go find... Thankfully, other people watching this there is you can see where the most people have like, this is the most replayed section right here, which is when they were showing off the Torgal plush? I don't know. But it makes it easier to find when the next panel starts. Thank you, Athena.
Please welcome to the stage Localization Director Michael Christopher Koji Fox, Creative Director and Original Screenplay Writer Kazutoya Maehiro, and Video Game Writer and Content Creator Alana Pierce.
Cool. Oh, there's Ellen. Okay.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
皆さんこんにちは。ショー楽しんでくれてますか？
I don't know if we'll ever have a cooler intro than that in my entire life. What a beautiful voice.
もうこんなかっこいいショー
Right?
多分今までこれからも
Can we be introduced to that person?
紹介でした。ありがとうございます。
So, hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Alana Pierce. If you don't know me, I'm a content creator and video game writer at Sony Santa Monica Studio.
はい、それでは改めまして皆さんこんにちは。
Alana being much more considerate of the translator.
サンタモニカスタジオでコンテンツライターを務めさせていただいておりますし、コンテンツクリエイターもやらせていただいております。
Hello everyone. 改めまして皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー16のクリエイティブディレクターと原作脚本を担当した前広です。よろしくお願いします。
And hello everyone. My name is Kazutoyo Maehiro. I am the creative director and original screenplay writer for Final Fantasy 16.
Wow, good job, Ellen. Localization director there just to do his job, not to actually be the translator. Go, Ellen.
And I have with me Torgal, Puppy Torgal. He's going to help me with the clicker for the screen up here. So let's do this.
改めまして先ほどのステージにも出させていただいたんですけれども、私マイケル・クリストファー・コージ・フォックスと申します。でそしてこちらはもう相棒の
Whatever they're paying Ellen, it's not enough.
一緒についてきてくれていて、パワーポイントスライドの手伝いもしてくれますので、トルガルちゃんよろしくお願いします。
It worked. Amazing. So what are we talking about today, everybody?
So,
what do we
again, we're here to talk about the story and the lore about Final Fantasy 16. But again, we're going to try not to spoil anything, again, that we already haven't spoiled.
はい、それでは今日は16の物語について語っていきたいと思うんですけれども、皆さんご安心ください。ネタバレはしないように今までちょっとバレていないことは少なくてもバレないようにします。
That would be a very bad idea. This close to launch, I think everybody in this room would be very upset with us.
はいね、この発売が近づいてきているタイミングでネタバレがあってしまったら皆さんちょっともうなんていうかがっかりしてしまうと思うので、
Chat for the event was very pro translator.
皆さんご安心
Good.
ください。避けます。
16は、これまでいくつか情報を公開してきたんですけど、メインストーリーについては、ずっと謎のままなので、このパネルもね謎のまま進めればと思ってます。
So yeah, I mean, we've released a lot of information on 16 so far, but I like to think that, you know, the main story and what we've got in store is still quite a mystery. So we hope it's still a mystery at the end of this panel.
Oh, yeah.
If it's okay.
We know the concept and like the...
Is he drunk?
Do you need some help?
Oh, no.
Hi.
The voice of Sid?
Hey, Sid.
That's Sid?
もしかしてシードの声優さん？
Security?
Is he drunk?
No.
いや
No, Sid.
No, he's Sid.
Okay.
Well, if it's okay, I'd love to ask you both some questions about the story.
Okay, of course.
Of course.
それでは改めましてちょっとストーリーについて伺っていきたいと思います。
はい。
That was weird.
I've heard of, or I've seen online at least, a few comparisons to Game of Thrones. There's definitely like kind of a dark fantasy vibe going on. Do you agree with those comparisons, and if so, in what ways?
はい、それではまずちょっとファイナルファンタジー16のちょっと雰囲気がよりダークであってゲームオブスローンズのようなダークファンタジーのテレビ番組にもちょっと影響を受けてるんじゃないかなっていう意見をよくネットとかで目にするんですけれども、皆さんはそれとなんていうか賛成するのでしょうか。もし影響を受けている場合であればどのようにちょっとインスパイアされているかということも詳しくお聞きできればと思います。
ゲームオブスローンズって非常によくできた作品で僕もファンなので少なからずインスピレーションは受けていて、その中で多分一番大きいのがアートディレクションです。
Yeah, I mean, Game of Thrones is a fantastic piece of fantasy, and I'm a fan myself. I think the most significant inspiration we took from it was in terms of art direction.
Sure, I can see that.
ゲームオブスローンズって、
Don't worry, not everyone's going to die.
登場するね人物だったりその舞台だったりっていうのが非常にユニークなんだけども、さもリアルにあってもおかしくないように作品全体をアートディレクションが徹底してます。
And you know, as you all know, Game of Thrones is a work of fantasy, and that means it has these really unique character designs, these unique settings and world. But at the same time, they all feel like they could exist in real life, and that's throughout the whole of the series. Everything is sort of really directed with this great balance and keeping it all together.
これって
I love tangible
簡単なように
characters.
思えるかもしれないですけど、本当に難しいことなんです。
It's one of the things that I love about certain villains is you can see how that villain could exist.
違和感を持ってしまうんですね。でその違和感っていうのが持ってしまうと、没入できなくなってしまいます。
And you know, this might look quite easy, but it's actually super difficult to achieve. It's because it's a real case of balance, and as soon as that balance gets thrown off, people watching, people reading are going to think there's something not quite right here. And as soon as that gets into their head, it's going to completely break immersion.
なので、ファイナルファンタジー16もゲームに没入が途切れないようにストーリーもそうですし、ゲームデザインだったりレベルや BGM に至るまで世界観を徹底しました。
So what we wanted to do with 16 was achieve something similar with that really high level of immersion. And that's the way we've approached it, from the story, game design, through to levels, even the background music. We really want to create this immersive world.
一方でストーリーはファイナルファンタジー16独自のものでクライブ・ロズフィールドの物語になってます。
But of course, 16's story is its own unique story. It is the tale of Clive Rosfield.
ストーリーの中で例えば政治的な観点だったりその倫理的な複雑さっていうのは描いてはいるんですけど、基本的にはストレートにクライブ・ロズフィールドの物語を体感することができます。
And of course, there will be political aspects, there will be some moral quandaries within the story, but first and foremost, it's just a real focused narrative on Clive Rosfield's story.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say, though, that Game of Thrones gets to lay sole claim to all these seedy brothels and evil mothers and brutal beheadings in fantasy.
でなんていうか、やはりゲームオブスローンズはいろいろファンタジーの要素が入ってるんですけれども、こういったみすぼらしい召喚だったり、悪役母親とか残虐的に切り落とされてしまう首はすべてゲームオブスローンズがなんていうかゲームオブスローンズが発祥っていうわけではないので、いろんなファンタジーにも出てくるんじゃないかなと思います。
But that said, we did use Game of Thrones television series as kind of a guideline for how we're going to approach the level and tone of dialogue in the game. We wanted to do something that was fantasy and felt really fantasy, but was not going to alienate users that weren't really familiar with that older type of English, which is more attributed to fantasy literature.
ただ少なくとも英語版
Which
で
is
は
why the characters say fuck a
テレ
lot.
ビ番組をテレビドラマの方を一つのなんていうか言葉遣いのガイドラインとして使っていました。やはりそのファンタジーによく似合う英語も使いたいなっていうふうに思っていたんですけれども、それと同時にちょっとそういう昔ながらの英語にあんまり馴染みのない
Definitely going to stay dark given how much they're referencing Game of Thrones. I mean, I feel like from the trailers that we've seen so far, it's been very obvious that the game is going to be dark.
Really good balance of authenticity mixed with this maturity and also kind of familiarity that ultimately ended up feeling both really dramatic and as well as accessible. And we wanted to emulate that. I mean, it has that feeling of, when they say something, it'd be like, oh, that's something that maybe I would say if I lived in that time.
やはりゲームオブスローンズの中で同じようなバ
I
ラン
haven't
スが
watched
さ
any
れていて
trailers yet. I won't say too much then, just in case you've been trying to avoid them. But yes, the general tone of the game is grim and dark and cloudy in an emotional sense. The game is rated M. It's the first rated M Final Fantasy game, and they're definitely using the freedom that they get in terms of space of that rating aggressively.
Game of Thrones. The game spans 3 decades of Clive's life, the protagonist, of course. What can we expect from these different time periods?
はい、それではちょっとゲームオブスローンズから少し話を変えますけれども、16の物語の中ではクライブのっていう主人公の人生を大きく3つの時代で描いていると思うんですけど、少年期、青年期、壮年期っていう3つの時代があるんですけれども、それぞれの時代からどういったことを期待できますでしょうか。
先ほども言った通りで、16はクライブ・ロズフィールドの物語です。
So, as I mentioned in my previous answer, 16 is the story of Clive Rosfield.
で、恵まれてた少年期っていうのと、復讐に燃える青年期っていうのと、さまざまな体験を、クライブがさまざまな体験をする壮年期っていうのがあって、この3つの大きな時代を通して、クライブの人生だったり、クライブから見たバリスゼアの世界っていうのを描いています。
And by taking these 3 different time periods, so his privileged teenage years, his revenge-driven 20s, and his 30s, where he's experienced a little bit more and sort of has that under his belt. By depicting these 3 different eras in Clive's life, we're able to show you, how his life progresses and how Valisthea changes from his perspective and through his eyes.
で、当然ね、年代が異なれば世界は変わっていくし、さまざまなキャラクターたちと出会いだったり別れだったりっていうのが待ってます。
And of course, as you move through these different time periods, the world itself will change, and there will also be all kinds of encounters and partings with different characters waiting for you in each one.
I mean, ultimately, Final Fantasy XVI is about finding what exactly it is that drives Clive. How he navigates through this kind of periods of self-loathing and then self-discovery, and then ultimately how he comes to accept himself and his role in the world.
It's also going to be interesting because this is one of the first Final Fantasy games that has normal time skips in it. There are other Final Fantasy games with time skips, but they are like mystical in nature, where this is more of like, and then they live some life for a while because that's something that happens.
知っていくっていう過程もその中に入っていて、で最終的には自分自身と自分のこの世界での役割に向き合うというような展開になっていくと思います。
I mean, but that said, finding oneself is not something that usually happens in a day or a day and a half, 40 hours of gameplay. It's something that takes, years. It's driven by a lifetime of experience and encounters, and to make that progression feel very natural, the only reasonable course was to stretch the story out over multiple periods of Clive's life.
でやはりこの自分を見つける旅っていうのは、1日1日半、ゲームプレイでいうと40時間で達成できるような目標ではないんですけれども、もう人生をかけていろいろ経験を積んできて、そのいろんな出会いを通してやっと
I don't know why they got water for that poor translator. They're never going to have a chance to drink it.
時に自然にクライブの物語を描こうと思うと、もうこうしていろんな年代を渡った物語を描くしかないなっていうふうに思っておりました。
Something that I know the team has done to make it easier for players to actually track all of Clive's relationships throughout this course of time is active time lore. This is something in the game that can be activated during cutscenes, and it'll tell you who's who, what's happening with them, how you're related to them. I can't think of many games that have done this.
This system is so cool.
And how do you feel it will help players?
そしてやはりそのクライブの旅の中でいろんな人に出会っていく。
It's essentially like the ultimate evolution of the data log, right? Like data logs are cool, but you have to dig through menus to get relevant information. So being able to just hit a button in the middle of everything and pull up relevant information for that specific moment in terms of like people, locations, relationships, events is such a smart design idea.
調べるようなシステムになってるんですけれども、もう今までリリースされてきたゲームの中で似てるようなシステムが特にない っていうか思いつかないんですけれども、皆さんはどのようにしてこのシステムの着想を得て、そしてこのシステムはプレイヤーにどのようなサポートを与えてくれますでしょうか。
It was amazing in the demo. Yeah.
So first of all, that's a really great question. Thank you. Thank you.
皆さん例えばゲームをプレイしていたり映画やドラマを見てるときにあいつ誰とかあれここどこだっけっていう経験ないですか？
So I have a question for you guys. Have you ever been playing a game, watching a film, watching some TV, and then this character comes up and you're like, oh no, who's that guy? Or the scene changes and you're like, wait, where is this? No? Anyone have that?
そうね、僕もそんな経験いっぱいあるんですよ。
Yeah, I get that all the time.
でもそんな経験してて、例えばその疑問に思ったままそのドラマとか映画を見続けたりゲームをプレイし続けるっていうのってとてもまあ
When does the review embargo drop on this?
ゲームの没入感をまあ阻害してしまいますよね。
And you know, if you keep trying to play or keep trying to watch, but you just have that question gnawing away at you, it really takes you out. It ruins the immersion, and it's just constantly on your mind, right?
なのでゲームの中でそれが確認できたらいいなと思って実装したシステムです。
And so we put this active time law system into the game because I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could just resolve that question inside the game itself?
で、アクティブタイムロアっていうのはゲームの中でいろんな情報を知ることができるんですけど、全部がその場で知れるわけではないです。
So active time law gives you access to lots of information in the game, but it doesn't give you access to all information at all times.
例えばカットシーンの中だとこの人物のことを知れたり、ゲームプレイしているとここどこだっけっていうそのプレイヤーがその時に必要なものっていうのを厳選して表示をします。
It selects the information that's most important to the player at that moment in time. So for example, if you call it up during a cutscene, it might give you the information on the characters that are actually appearing. And if you call it up when you're playing in a particular location, it might give you information on where you are at that point in time.
ですぐゲームの中で調べてすぐクイックにゲームに戻ることができるので非常に使いやすいシステムとなっています。
And so that means that you can just look up the information that you want to know straight in the game and then jump straight back into playing. So I think that it should really help out players in that sense.
And no spoilers.
ネタバレもない説明でしたのでありがとうございます。
Apart from active time law, in the state of play, you guys briefly showed us a few in-game characters I thought would be very cool in regard to keeping up with what's going on in the story and the lore.
はい、そしてアクティブタイムローズから少し話を変えますけれども、ステートオフプレイの中ではなんていうかゲーム内のキャラクターがストーリーとロアとかいろいろ教えてくれるっていうことを紹介されていたんですけれども、非常に興味深い機能だと思っていました。
In Final Fantasy XVI, we have these two great characters that you see up on the screen. We have our Loresman, Harpocrates, and we have Vivian Ninetails, who help out with the game's lore.
はい、そうですね。もうこちら今映っている2人なんですけれども、16の中ではこちら語り部ハルポクラテスとビビアン・ナインテールスというキャラクターたちがいて、この2人はいろいろロアのことで手伝ってくれています。
It might be biased, but I love the hair color.
いや、もうなんていうか、ちょっと私から言うのもちょっとあれなんですけれども、ビビアンの髪かっこいいですよね。
So again, no spoilers. I'm not going to ask you for their full backstories, but could you tell us what their function is and how you think they'll help players?
でここももちろんネタバレのない
I will say again, you want to talk about defining traits that are going to make Final Fantasy XVI a pillar of a game.
ハルポコラテスも16の中で何かを知ろうとしたときにそれを答えてくれるキャラクターとして用意をしました。
So both Vivian and Harpocrates are available to tell players more about the world of Final Fantasy XVI whenever there's something they want to know.
まずハルポクラテスからですけど、名前はねハルポクラテスって難しいんですけど、とても息のいいおじいちゃんです。
So let's talk a little bit about Harpocrates first. His name is a little bit of a mouthful, but he is a lovely and kind gent.
ね、彼はですねバリスデアの歴史だったり風俗だったりっていうのを研究していて、クライブが見聞きしたものっていうのを彼の備忘録にこう書き留めてます。
So Harpocrates is someone who researches the history and customs of Valisthea, and when Clive comes back from his adventures and tells him about what he's seen and heard, Harpocrates will note that down in his records.
ね、先ほど説明したアクティブタイムロアも彼に話しかけることで、見返することができるので見逃しても安心です。
And for example, he'll make a note of everything that appears in the active time lore system we were just discussing, so you don't need to worry about missing anything in the heat of the moment.
ね、あとさっき動画が出てましたけど、いくつかの情報を彼に伝えることによって彼自身がレベルが上がって彼の持っているロアを新しく知ることができます。
And we had a little bit of a video earlier showing you this, but as you give him more and more information about Valisthea, Harpocrates will level up, and when he does, he'll also discover new lore for you that you can uncover that way.
なので、ロアに興味のある方は彼にたびたび話しかけてみてください。
So if there's anyone out there who's interested in learning more about lore in the world of Valisthea, I really recommend that you speak to him very often.
All right, and so Mahiro-san talked a little bit about Harpocrates, so I'll talk a little bit about Vivian Ninetails. So while Harpocrates is more of an expert on Valisthea's past, Vivian is more in tune with what's going on currently, what's happening now.
それでは前広さんからハルポクラティスの紹介があったんですけれども、私の方から少しビビアン・ナインテールズについて話していきたいと思います。ハルポクラティスはすごいバレステアの過去を専門としているキャラなんですけれども、ビビアンはどちらかというとバレステアの現状を深く知っているキャラクターとなります。
And so Clive is a very busy man. He's off saving the world, saving people, doing all of these different things. But while he's doing all that, a lot of other stuff is happening in the very large realm of Valisthea.
The world keeps turning.
He doesn't always know what's going on. So he'll come back to the hideaway. He'll want to figure out what's going on. He can go to Vivian, and Vivian will tell him all about what's happening in the other nations.
It's really cool. They wrote it in such a way that the world, things are happening outside of the immediate story that you are seeing from Clive's point of view. Because otherwise, that's not something that always happens in RPGs, where normally the only things that ever happen are the things that are around the story that you are witnessing, but otherwise the rest of the world is kind of in like a time bubble waiting for you to arrive.
And so Vivian will give you these kind of reports and these updates. You can kind of compare it to the Brave story from Final Fantasy Tactics. But the one thing that's different is that with Brave story it was all text. And so put a lot of, the player would have to read a lot of stuff. And we didn't want to have that be a barrier for the players this time, so we wanted to make that a lot more visual.
Slack.
And that means using lots of maps. We have videos that she will show you, and also have that, you saw that wonderful kind of, the little circles with, looked like the, the crazy person looking to find out where the killer was, and have all the strings attached. That is something we also wanted to do, because we wanted to make it a very visual experience, so that you would look at it and know exactly what was going on.
Ellen is a boss.
で、なんていうか、ビビアンの方からいろいろ報告していただくことになるんですけれども、例えるならFinal Fantasy Tactics の Brave.
I can't wait to see the YouTube videos of people that are going to spend 45 minutes breaking down one singular lore bubble of this game, because of just how expansive they have made the lore and the story and the characters and the depth of not just the main cast, but everyone around in the game and the different nations and locations.
なんていうか図がいろいろ貼ってて、なんていうか警察が犯人は誰なのかっていろいろ線を書いて、すごいなんていうか複雑になるっていうような見た目のものだったかもしれないんですけれども、いろいろ視覚的に分かりやすいようにちょっと調整しておりますので、ぜひ楽しみにしていただければと思います。
And beyond the lore, probably the coolest thing about these two characters is they're not just there for the lore. They're actually characters that are in the game that are a part of Clive's lives and have their own stories as well. So Clive will be able to learn more about these two via these great side quests, to learn about what drives them and what, how they came to be with Clive.
そしてこの2人のキャラでとてもなんていうかいいところだと個人的に思ってるんですけれども、ロアのために機能っていうかシステムだけとして入ってるわけではなくて、ちゃんとシナリオの中に役割があるっていうことなんですけれども、ちゃんとクライブと一緒に歩んでいくっていうことになりますし、でそこなんていうかサイドクエストとかを通してこの2人の過去とかこの2人が成長していくっていうところも実際に見ることができるので、とてもなんていうか気に入っているキャラクターとなります。
I'm very excited to meet them. They look awesome. There's some more stuff that you guys showed in the state of play that I'm also excited about. One thing you showed off was side quests. I'm a big side quest person. I imagine everyone in this room is too, where Final Fantasy is concerned. It just helps us get immersed in the world and learn more about what's going on even outside of these two characters. So what can players expect from the side quests in this game? And do we get any bonuses, or what kind of experience do we get from doing side quests?
ありがとうございます。もう早くお会いしたいですね。ステイトフリーでももう一つちょっと興味深い要素というか気になっている要素として紹介されていたのがサイドクエストっていうところなんですけれども、私個人的にサイドクエストが大好き。ここにお集まりの皆さんもファイナルファンタジーファンということであればサイドクエストも大好きなんじゃないかなと思うんですけれども。世界への没入感も高めてくれる要素としてはとても素晴らしいと思いますし、16のサイドクエストからどういったものをなんていうか期待できますでしょうか。そして、
Pay Ellen more money。
経験値はもちろんあると思うんですけれども、他に何か報酬とかは用意されてますでしょうか。
ゲームのクエストの作り方って、いくつか手法があるんですけど、ファイナルファンタジー16はクエスト一つ一つにしっかりとしたストーリーを設けることにしました。
So there are lots of different ways to approach making quests for games, and the approach that we took for 16 was to ensure that each and every quest had a proper story.
So we're not just collecting bear asses. Got it. Don't need to go pick up 10 fried boar urethras from the forest just because, we needed to pad the game somehow. Hey Fender,
so, example,
welcome in, and welcome back El Canadiano.
Go defeat 3 goblins. We've made sure to really put a story around it, so it's why are the goblins there? Why do you need to go and defeat them? And so by engaging with the side quests, players will be able to sort of learn more about Valisthea, more about what's going on, and really engage with that content there.
Things have been an adventure, El Canadiano. Last couple of weeks have been crazy.
And we have, of course, made sure that quest placement has been done from a game-wide overall perspective. So the side quests won't be there getting in the way of the main story. They're there and they're available for players to do when they want to take a little bit of a breather.
もちろんクエストをクリアするとギルだったり経験値だったりっていう報酬を手に入れることができるんですけど、その他にもクライブの名声っていうのを手に入れることもできます。
And of course, as you mentioned, completing quests will get you gil, get you experience points, but it will also earn Clive renown.
で、名声を手に入れ、名声が上がっていくと、クライブの支援者から支援品ということで、いろんなアイテムを手に入れることができて、中にはレアなアイテムもあるかもしれません。
And the more Clive's renown builds, he'll find that he gets donations from people who support his cause, and some of those donations may be items, and some of those items may be quite rare.
あとクエストによってはね、ポーションの所持数が増えたり。
I want someone to gift me the Buster Sword.
And depending on the quest, there may be some other ones as well that give you sort of improvements and upgrade your systems, your skills, your gear, like giving you more maximum number of potions that can be held, things like that. So I hope you'll all get out there and enjoy playing lots of the side quests.
But I think what is kind of important is what My Hero-san said about how these quests don't really get in the way of the main scenario. While some players want to learn everything they can about the world, myself being one of those players, some want to just focus maybe on just the main story or want to focus just on the action and not feel like they're being forced into that side content in order to progress.
また今マイハリさんがおっしゃっていたことの中ですごい重要なポイントとして考えているのがメインストーリーの邪魔をしないっていうことなんですよね。もうやはりプレイヤーによってはこの世界のすべてを知り尽くしたいっていう人もいれば、私もそういうタイプなんですけれどもメインシナリオだけを追っていきたいっていう方といやアクションだけでいいっていう人たちもいるので無理やりにサイドコンテンツをさせられるっていうことは避けたいなっていうふうに思っておりました。
And so we wanted to create this system that catered to all those types of players. And so while Final Fantasy XVI's content and that side content is integrally woven into the main scenario, and it supplements it and it enhances it, skipping it will not affect your ability to join the game and understand that central narrative. Although I do recommend you play them because they're really good quests.
If you want to mainline the story, you can, which is good. This program's quite long. Yeah, the actual original stream was 5 hours. We're able to trim it down a bit from their break times, but it's quite the hefty pre-launch celebration.
できるんじゃないかなというふうに思っておりますけれども、決してプレイする必要はなくて、プレイしなくてもちゃんとメインシナリオを理解できますし、楽しめると思っております。ただ個人的にプレイすることをすごくお勧めします。内容はとても素晴らしいものになっていると思うので、よろしくお願いします。
I have one last question for you before we have to go, I think. To both of you, maybe a complicated question. What do you think makes a Final Fantasy story?
それではそろそろ最後の質問に
It's a difficult
なるんじゃない
question
か
to
なと思うんですけ
answer.
れども、ここはちょっと複雑な質問かもしれないんですけれども、二人さんにとってはもうファイナルファンタジーの中でいい物語を作る上でどういったポイントが必要だと思っていますでしょうか。
Bullshit
ファイ
keywords.
ナルファンタジーに限ったことではないんですけど、僕の考えとしてはいいシナリオっていうのは没入感を阻害しないものだと思ってます。
So this isn't just applicable to Final Fantasy, but one of the things that I think makes a really good story is making sure that it doesn't break the immersion.
例えばゲームをしていて、ゲームデザインとゲームシナ
I
リオ
think I see Alana Pierce as the host. That is correct. She's one of the
の
guests.
考えが全然違ってたりすると。
Maximilian dude was on there for the combat and gameplay portion earlier.
If you're playing a game and the game design and the scenario, the narrative aren't aligned very well, that could be very jarring. So for example, if you're playing it and the main character's thoughts and feelings don't match up with what the player feels, that can really take you out of it.
でせっかくねゲームに没入してるのに、我に返っちゃうと没入感も阻害しちゃうし、下手すればその時点で、皆さんも経験あるかもしれないですけど、ゲームをやめてしまうこともありますよね。
And if you were really immersed in this game and then all of a sudden you find yourself taken out of it and just completely can't get back into it, it sort of ruins the experience. And some people might just walk away, stop playing the game. I'm sure that's happened to lots of people here.
だから、ファイナルファンタジー16は、一度コントローラーを握ったらもう二度とクリアまで二度と離さないぐらいっていうその没入感を続けることができるように、してたんですけど、それが、ストーリーにおける、いいゲームシナリオなんじゃないかと思ってます。
And so what we've really aimed for with Final Fantasy XVI is to create this story, this narrative experience where once you pick up the controller, you're not going to be able to put it down again. You're not going to want to be able to put it down. And so to me, that's what I really think a good story and a good narrative is.
Yeah, you feel immersed in it and engaged in it and encased in it to the point where why would you want to put the controller down, because this is just where you exist now.
16, we've really put our all and our hearts into creating this, so I really hope that you'll all play the story, enjoy it, and once you've got to the end of it, you'll let us know what you thought.
I think that what is most important in the game is that the storytelling doesn't just take place in the quests, doesn't just take place in that main scenario, that it takes place throughout the whole world.
そうですね、私ですけれども、物語で一番重要なポイントとしては、クエスト内だけで物語を描くのではなくて、世界全体で、その物語を描くことがすごく大事だなっていうふうに思っております。
And I mean, whether that means, random NPC chatter or maybe some signs, on stores or some books that you find in a house, lying about town, or maybe on maps or in letters, or maybe even in the names of places that you see on a map, or item help text. Valisthea is full of tales beyond just Clive's. There are, tens of thousands of people living in this realm, and they all have their own stories, and we want to put those stories in the game as well so players can see that as well. And they're there. I mean, we don't push that on the player, but if you look, you're going to find that stuff.
で例えばNPC の会話から得られる情報だったり、街中の看板とか、どっかの家に置いてある本とか読んでて。
Everything is about enjoy the game how you want to enjoy the game, which is really cool. How much combat focus do you want to have? How much story focus do you want to have? How deep do you want to go into the world, the lore, the side stories, the overall presentation? How fast do you want to go? How slow do you want to go? It is all about you enjoying the game how you want
いろ
to.
んな物語が隠されています。クライブだけっていう人が、住んでるわけではなくて、いろんな方、もう何万人も暮らしているっていうわけなので、その方々の物語もあちらこちらでちょっと描いているようにしておりますので、全てがメインシナリオに描かれているわけではなくて、探さないといけないっていうところもあるんですけれども、そういうところが好きなお方はぜひ探して楽しんでもらえればと思っております。
And one more thing that's about great storytelling is you always got to have some bad puns.
でもう一つ非常に重要なポイントなんですけれども、いいストーリーの中ではちょっとダサいダジャレとか親父ギャグは入れないといけない。
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much, and thank you to everybody here.
改めて2人本当にありがとうございます。そしてこちらお集まりの皆さん、配信で見てくれている皆さんありがとうございます。
And to everybody on Twitch, we appreciate all of you as well. My last question is for everybody in the room right now. Are we excited to play Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, I guess. You know, maybe a little bit.
皆さんへの質問なんですけれども、Final Fantasy 16
It
楽
looks
しみ
all
に
right.
してますか？
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so I think we're done. Yes, but we're not done with the panels. We have one more exciting panel coming up with Soken and Alex Mukala.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the music, which is going to be really, really sick.
So please wait a little bit longer, and we'll be right back up here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there was something that I realized, and I had partially asked it during this panel, which I was like, when is the review embargo up for this game?
Reminder,
Reviews have not
for those
come
of you
out
with
yet.
Tickets,
Okay.
The photo session will begin outside shortly.
God, that narrator's voice. The announcer's voice. Anyway, so the game comes out in like 2 days, okay? Reviews have not went up yet, which is surprising in a general sense, because most of the time when you see a game that its review embargo is really, really close to its release date, that normally isn't a good sign, because it means that the developers or the publishers are concerned that the reviews are not going to be very positive, which could negatively impact the game in a way that would hurt sales, right? And I didn't realize that the reviews hadn't been released yet, because everyone seems to just be on the same level about being very, very excited for this game. They seem very ready for Final Fantasy 16 and don't seem concerned about what the reviews are going to say. Now, that might be a little bit of me being in a part of an echo chamber of surrounding myself with people that are also excited about games like Final Fantasy 16, but it is interesting to me that it hasn't had its reviews out at this point in time. That is surprising with just the general landscape of the video game review cycle and media cycle at this point in time. Yeah. And Cerulean, you just mentioned the demo, and that's another kind of interesting aspect of it, because the demo, in a way, kind of launched around the time that we would normally see the reviews. It was only about, 10 days before the release of the game. And instead of reviews, we just saw the demo come out, and we've just seen everyone's reactions to the demo, which has been massively positive, overwhelmingly positive. Everyone has done nothing but talk about how absolutely incredible the demo is. So I don't know if the reviews are going to drop tomorrow or the day before or like right before the game comes out. I don't know. I'm really curious and surprised because there was a lot of discussion around what are we going to see in terms of the review scores. Final Fantasy games normally are pretty well received, but getting up into that upper echelons of like the the 90s, where you're seeing like lots of inconsistencies of like 9 and 10s out of 10s. That is not something that Final Fantasy normally achieves very often. Most of the time, their scores land in the mid 80s, which is still very, very good, but because it is still different from and difficult to achieve that point where you are having more people review your game at a 10 out of 10 level, which gives you that average of like a 92 to a 95 out of 100 on things like Metacritic. And there's been talk about how Final Fantasy XVI could potentially be one of the first games from Square Enix in a very, very long time, and especially within the Final Fantasy franchise, that is able to achieve such a massive critical reception. So the only complaint I've heard is that it's dark, but the devs admitted the demo was particularly visual dark time in the game. Right. I mean, look at the screen right now. It's pretty freaking dark at that point, and they're showcasing parts of the demo within this little B-reel footage right here. So I hope it's not being overhyped. I hope so too. I feel like it doesn't feel like it's being overhyped because there is a amount of cool confidence coming from the company and the developers. It doesn't feel like they're trying to hype up the game. It's just, it feels significantly more like they're trying to show off how proud they are of what they have achieved. So rather than being like, this shit is awesome, just being like, this is everything we made. We're really proud of it, and we'd like to show it to you. There is such a calmness from the pride of the developers and people that are working on the game that is not something that you see very often. They don't seem nervous. They don't seem anxious. They just seem excited for their own product and are excited for other people to play it, and not in the way of like, we're really excited for you to buy it. We're excited for you to play it because they're very proud of what they've made. That might be me projecting my own feelings about it, or just not quite getting the same read on the developers that have been present on stage or the way that they've presented in interviews and stuff over the last several months. But it definitely feels, definitely a comfortable positivity around the game, which is cool, which is very, very cool. Okay, so let's turn this back up a little bit. I need to grab a couple bites of food because I'm hungry.
Whoa. We should start with the dungeons. They may be holding the bearers there.
The audio for this stream is not working right. It's like weirdly doubled.
This is so cool.
They're all empty.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Welcome to the stage, Final Fantasy XVI composer Masayoshi Soken, and game composer and content creator Alex Mukala.
Yeah! Congratulations, Alex.
Hello, everybody. Hello, good people. How are we doing today? Welcome to the Final Fantasy XVI music panel, where we get to talk about the music of this game with the legend lead composer, Masayoshi Soken.
こちらファイナルファンタジー16音楽に関するパネルなんですけれども、今からはファイナルファンタジー16の音楽に関してもう伝説であるソケンさんと一緒に語っていきたいと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。How does it feel being in front of all these beautiful fans here and also online?
ソケンさんは今もここもう美しいファンの方々がここに集まっていて、まあもちろん配信でも見てくださっていると思うんですけれども、どんなお気持ちでしょうか？
いやパッケージゲームを作るのが久々だったから発売になんとかね発売こぎつけて本当は嬉しいです。
So yeah, it's been a long time since I've been able to make a non-online game. So this has been a great experience for me. I'm really excited.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know where my manners are, but I forgot to say my name is Alex Mukala. I'm a game composer and content creator, and it's. Thank you guys. Thank you. It is a massive honor to be here among friends, fans, and legends, and you guys as well, like Koji-san and Helen. Guys, thank you for what you do.
すいません、ちょっと自己紹介が遅れてしまったんですけれども、私、アレックス・ムカーラと申しまして、ゲームコンポーザーとコンテンツクリエイターをやらせていただいておりますけれども、皆さんと一緒にこのステージに立たせていただけることができて、非常に光栄です。本当に皆さんありがとうございます。
Obviously, we're here to talk about the music of Final Fantasy XVI, and I'd like to start by saying there was a trailer that dropped at the Game Awards, the revenge trailer of Final Fantasy XVI. I have to say the music theme in that trailer is stuck in my mind ever since I heard it. Wow.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, Cerulean, is a mixed bag for everybody. If you were somebody like us that played it on day one, that is such a different experience than people that get to play the fixed and completed game that's available today. And so for people that have played it for the first time recently, it is so hard to explain to them how rough the game was when it very first came out in 2016 and how much better of an experience it is now. It's a pretty damn good game now, but at launch, boy, it had problems.
この後リリースされるってアナウンスあったと思うんですけど、あの曲聴けるかもね。
So, for everyone that likes the song, you'll actually be able to possibly experience in the demo that drops in another couple hours.
Oh my god.
みんなも遊んでね、デモ版ね、必ず。
So yeah, make sure you all play the demo, right?
Yeah, let's go. Well, I was wondering, how did you come up with that song? How did you write it? The revenge theme.
でもぜひちょっともう少し詳しくお聞きできればと思うんですけれども、もうどのようにしてこの曲を作曲できたのでしょうか。
そうね、あの曲はね、要はジョシュアのことを考えて作りました。
So when making that track, I had to think about Joshua, become Joshua.
ただ、何を考えてあれをジョシュアの何を考えてあれを作ったかっていうと、もう前広に怒られちゃうんで、おいスポイラーだぞっつって。だから今日はここでは言えませんけど、プレイしてくれたらきっとわかると思います。
Okay. However, what part of Joshua and what kind of situation Joshua was in, I can't really tell you about that now because if I told you that, my hero-san would kill me. We need you to all play the game, and then you'll probably figure it out.
I love Joshua, by the way. After playing the game a little bit, I fell in love with the character. It's so beautiful.
いやもう本当にジョシュアが大好きなんですよ。ちょっとゲームプレイさせていただいて、キャラクターたちもうみんなすごく素敵で、ジョシュアも特にもう大好きになっちゃいました。
あなたも素敵だよ。
Yeah, you're just as great as Joshua.
でも今日あれだよね。このスタイルクライブじゃない？
But you look a lot like Clive today.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed. Thank you.
ちょっと立って
気づいてくれてありがとうございます。
ちょっと立ってもらってさ、みんな見てもらおう。
Stand up. Let's see you. Stand up.
Show off the fit, you beautiful man.
Turn around. Come to me, Fritz.
Come to me, Fritz. What is happening? Well, let's go back to talking about music.
今日は実はね、いろんなこと話したいんだけど、その前にね、皆さんにね、あるものを見せたくて、とある人を呼んでます。
So again, I want to talk a little more with you, but before that, I want to have someone join us here on the stage.
I noticed there was a fifth stool.
これね、その人を呼びたいと思います。ディエゴ・コントレラスさん。
So let's welcome to the stage, Diego Contreras.
Yay!
Film and commercial director. Okay.
Guys, what an honor to be on stage with you guys. You guys are legends in the industry, so it really means a lot to be here with you. And hi everyone, my name is Diego Contreras. I'm a film director, and I had the privilege of directing a live-action short film and commercial for Final Fantasy XVI that we just finished.
はい、皆さん本当に同じステージに立たせていただいて非常に光栄です。皆さん伝説なんですけれども、とても光栄です。私ディエゴ・コントレラスと申します。皆さんよろしくお願いいたします。私は映画の監督を務めさせていただいておりますけれども、なんと FF の実写版のショートフィルムを作成する機会をいただきましたので、今日はなんていうかそのために来ております。皆さんよろしくお願いいたします。
でまずは何はともあれそのビデオみんなで見ましょうか。
Alright, so before we actually, talk together, let's watch the video.
Oh, sick!
Yeah, let's do it.
いや、ぜひ見てみたいです。
じゃあ
Yeah, let's watch it.
Let's watch をどうぞ。ディエゴさんが言うと。
Alright, so you give the cue to tell him to play the video. Well, you do it.
You guys ready to watch it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's roll it.
Let's go. Don't mention sobbing, Athena. That's a big boy. Yeah, big boy. I'm gonna eat some food.
Guys, what just happened?
Yeah,
Did you guys know Final Fantasy could look that cool? I've been playing this game ever since I was a kid, and I can't find the words to
いやもう
describe.
本当に皆さん今見たこと信じられますか？私子供の頃からファイナルファンタジーやってきてるんですけども、こんなファイナルファンタジー見たことなくて本当に涙出そうです。
And also, the music. There was a guy beating the hammer at the rhythm of the music that was being played by the violin girl. And like, all the melodies we heard sound like the melodies that we heard in trailers, but it sounds like they were adapted especially for this short film. How was the process of working on the music for this?
音楽ももうなんていうかその周りになんていうかハンマーを叩いたりバイオリン弾いたりっていうところが音楽につながっていくっていうのが素晴らしくて、なんていうかメロディー自体はいろんなトレーラーからも聞いてきてると思うんですけれども、この実写版フィルムのためにちょっとなんていうかアレンジされているように見えるんですけれども、そのプロセスとか過程について少し詳しく伺ってもよろしいでしょうか。
じゃあディエゴさんの方からねちょっと話聞いてみましょうか。
All right, I think Diego is probably better equipped to answer that question, so let's hear from you.
So yeah, from the very beginning, this film was written as a musical, which is pretty unique for a live-action game trailer. It's different. It's not all action-based. With Soken Sound soundtrack acting as the... Is this better?
Hey.
Yeah, so I was saying it was written as a musical, and Soken Sound soundtrack was, in a way, acting as the driving emotional force of the film. So every sound, every instrument, every voice that you hear in the film is building and building to tell an emotional story of Clive's transformation.
そうですね、もうまさになんていうか音楽が中心な要素となるように実写版のこのトレーラーをミュージカルとして
It's not even my stuff on the screen, Athena, and I'm a mess. I can't imagine how they must feel.
もうやはりソケンさんがもう作ったこのサウンドトラックが本当に素晴らしいものなので、そのやっぱり中心なそのフィーリングを作っていってくれるっていうのは本当に素晴らしかったです。もうやはりこの中の各楽器とか声がそれぞれ重なっていて、クライブの物語とかいうかクライブの旅をもう再現していくっていうことになるので、本当に素晴らしい音楽でした。ありがとうございます。
この音楽はね、このファイナルファンタジー16の要所要所大事なところでかかる音楽なんで、今回大事な音楽ということでディエゴさんと一緒に大事な音楽の V 作るぞってことで盛り上がって作ってきました。
I mean, this track is used in Final Fantasy XVI in so many important parts of the game. And so when we're giving to you, we knew that you were going to use it in a very important way as well. And I think you were able to do that with your creation.
Can we give a round of applause to this man for what he did on that?
また大きな拍手をお願いします。
Very impressive work.
でもさ、一個だけちょっといい、一個だけ気になるところがあったの。
Okay, but there's one thing that I'd like to ask you.
一番最初トロガル出てきたんだけど。
So there's one thing that's been begging me. Like at the beginning, I think we saw like Torgal.
トロガルゲーム中だとさ、めっちゃたくましくてすごいいい。
You're gonna ask him why Torgal was so small?
So in the game, Torgal seems a lot bigger and more wolf-like.
ちょっと可愛くなかった？
Yeah, wasn't that Torgal a little bit too cute?
Well, that was actually the plush animal that's been roaming around. That's what you see on the screen.
いやもう実はねこの会場に来てくれているぬいぐるみに出演してもらったので。
So I'll tell the story. We actually, first of all, the actor is very tall. So that's a real wolf, but the actor makes him look very small. We also
Our actor for Clive was 6'9".
Would make him look bigger, like a bigger Torgal, but he looked like an IKEA rug roaming around. So we decided to take off all the extra coating that we had for Torgal, and we just went with the real wolf.
実はちょっとしたエピソードがあるんですけれども、まあそもそもクライブを演じてくださっている役者さんなんですけども、とにかく身長が大きいんですけれども、ワンちゃんに見えるトルガルが実は狼なんですよ。ただまあもうちょっとモフモフするようなふわふわなんていうかにするような衣装を作ってはいたんですけれども、なんかつけてると IKEA のラグじゃないかなっていうちょっと印象があったので、このままでいこうかってなっちゃったんですね。
I'm not gonna lie, I kinda want an IKEA skin for Torgal in game now.
もうじゃあぜひゲーム内のトルガルもその IKEA 風のねスキンが欲しいなって思っちゃったんです。
ちょっと後で話そうか。Alright, so we need to get maybe get Naoki Yoshida around and then we ask him if we can make a Torgal IKEA rock skin.
Well, Diego, I have one.
They did say no planned DLC for the game.
Together.
Due to popular request, we have implemented a skin for
一つ
Torgal.
質問があるんですけれども、もうこの動画なんですけど、このトレーラーの作成プロセスについて少し詳しく教えていただけますでしょうか。
Yeah, so it was a great collaboration between Square Enix, the team at Square Enix, the ad agency Anomaly, and the production company that I worked with, Love Song, for over probably about a month in writing the whole story, discussing every detail to make sure that it was faithful to Final Fantasy.
で、そうですね。もう本当に共同作。
It's another reason, Cerulean, that I have decent confidence in the game is because the game went gold 2 months ago, and they've also said that they don't intend on adding any post-launch content. The game is feature complete, and they don't believe they want to add or are going to add anything. Obviously, that could change, but that's what they've been saying in interviews.
And we shot in Croatia, across a myriad of stunning landscapes and
Cool.
real medieval towns. And one of the dreams we had was to make this film feel real and grounded in reality, not CGI. So we shot in real locations. It's all in camera except for Ifrit at the end. But it's all in camera. There's no green screen.
Wait. What do you mean Ifrit is not real?
We tried to cast the actual Ifrit, but his rate was too high.
そうですね。撮影現場も実際クロアチアに行ってそこでロケ地としては本当の街に行ったり私たちが目指していたのはCGI ばっかを使うのではなくて現実をちゃんと映すっていうような絵にしたかったんですけれど
They couldn't afford his food budget.
の部分をちょっとねCGI 使わないといけなかったんですけどアレックスからはすいませんちょっとイフリートって実在しないんですか。イフリートさんのお題はちょっと高すぎて諦めちゃいました。
In addition to his regular contract, we have to spend $100,000 a day on
Thank you so much
food.
for creating this film and elevating Final Fantasy in a way that I didn't know was possible.
Yeah, that was cool.
本当にディエゴさんもうこの実写版を作ってくださってファイナルファンタジーの知らない可能性を可能にしてくれたことを本当にありがとうございます。
Thank you for having me, and I just wanted to say thank you for having me. Yeah, I've been playing games like this since I was a little kid, and honestly, it's been a dream to be a part of this and help bring this world of Final Fantasy XVI to life on film. So thank you. It's an honor, guys. Thank you.
こちらこそ本当に子供の頃からずっとゲームをやってきてるんですけれどもこのようにファイナルファンタジー16の世界をもう実写フィルムでなんていうか再現することができて非常に光栄でした。皆さんありがとうございました。
Thank you, Diego. Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. I do believe that is a very likely scenario, Cerulean.
Yes.
Live action.
Good
Final
comparison,
Fantasy.
too.
That was so freaking cool.
実写版のファイナルファンタジーってかっこよすぎますよ、ソケンさん。
あれね、映像にオリジナルで作ったのよ。メロディーは一緒なんだけど、V 専用で音楽作ったんだね。
So yeah, the music in that, again, we've used that melody in the game, but we did a special arrangement just for that movie.
I get the feeling that, I almost cried when I watched this now, but I have to be professional and not cry in front of thousands of people.
I'd do it.
I also get the feeling that after beating the game and watching that again, it will hit me in a different way.
で今映像を見てもう泣きそうになったんですけどもこんなに大勢の前で泣くのはちょっとあれかなと思ってこらえていたんですけれどもきっとゲームをクリアしてもう一回見返すとまた別のもうなおさらそういう感情が湧いてくるのかなと思うんですけれども
ゲームをプレイしてクリアした時には今まで出てる全てのファイナルファンタジー16の PV を 見ると泣いちゃうかもね。
So yeah, I mean, not just that trailer. I mean, you could, once you finish the game, go back and watch all of the trailers, and there's no way that you're not going to cry.
今日はさその泣く話しに来たわけじゃないんだ。
Yeah.
俺
We didn't come here to talk about crying. So.
いや音楽だからミュージック。
I wanted to ask you a question about that, actually.
Okay. About
How
crying?
did you feel when they told you were gonna write the music for Final Fantasy 16? Maybe you cried of joy or cried of pain because you're like, this is gonna be too hard. I don't know.
では音楽に関する質問をさせていただければと思うんですけれども、ソケンさんは16のコンポーズをお願いしますよって言われた時にどういったお気持ちだったんでしょうか。嬉しく泣いたのでしょうか、それとも辛い思いをしてちょっと嫌だなと思って泣いたのでしょうか。
泣く前提。
No. It's a hair. 僕ファイナルファンタジー14っていうゲームも実は全力で作ってて、それで16も作ってくれって言われて、地獄が2つ来たと思いました。
So yeah, as you know, I'm already working hard on Final Fantasy 14. So when they asked me to do Final Fantasy 16, well, that's one hell and now two hells.
You made it through.
いやでも生き残ってくれてありがとうございます。
で今回の16で、ちょっと話したいことが音楽については特に話したいことが僕からあるのよ。
So there's one thing that I really wanted to talk about Final Fantasy 16's music.
地獄が2つあったことで楽しく開発できたっていうのもあるんだけども。
And so we talked about the two hells and how much fun I had traversing through them.
どうせ地獄だったら面白いことやってやろうと思って、今回ちょっとね16は14とはちょっと違うサウンドシステムを作ったんですよ。
So I thought, if this project's going to be hell, why not have some fun? And so I wanted to try to do something that we had never done before.
アレックスはアクションゲームは得意？
So Alex, I want to ask you a question. How are you at action games?
I'm pretty good.
ちょっと自信はありますよ。
本当
？Why does he have to call me out like that?
もうすごい攻撃されてる気持ちがあるんですけど。
Really? 今回はアクションゲームっていうこともあって、サウンドの音楽の展開の仕方が上手い人と下手な人で全然変わっちゃうっていう問題があったんです。
So again, because Final Fantasy 16 is an action game, the battles are going to be carried out differently depending on how good you are at an action game.
つまり、
Dynamic music is so cool.
早くバトルが終了しちゃう。それからあまり上手じゃない人だと一生終わんないみたいな、なんかそんな感じになるんですね。
So when someone who's really good at action games plays, those battles are going to end pretty quickly. When someone who's not so good at action games plays, the battle never ends.
ほら、アレックスだったらわかると思うけど、ゲームの音楽ってそのシチュエーションに合ったメロディー、そしてシチュエーションに合ったアレンジが流れたら最高にゲームエクスペリエンスって盛り上がるよね。
And so you probably know this, but with game music, it's all about that situation. When you get a certain spot in the game and that melody hits or that arrangement hits, and the music fits with what's going on in the game.
Yeah, it feels like when you're in a music video almost.
もうなんていうか PV に入ったかのような気持ちになるんですよね。
だけど今回はアクションゲームだからそううまくはいかないんだよ。
The thing is, we're making an action game this time, and like we mentioned before, with different playstyles, it's difficult to make that happen.
なぜならタイミングが全然違うからね、上手い人と下手な人だと。
And that all comes down to timing, because the timing is going to be different. Those battle links are going to be different depending on who's playing.
だけど今回はそのどっちでも同じサウンド体験ができるような魔法を作りました。
But for Final Fantasy 16, we found a way to make a similar game sound experience for all different types of players. We developed this certain kind of magic to make it happen.
Magic.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
ね、今日はね、言葉で説明してもわからんので、
Everyone's just so
ビデオ
happy.
用意しました。
So, and this is very difficult to explain just by talking, so we've brought a video to kind of show you how it's done.
Oh
なんで
God.
まずは
Gimme.
ビデオを見ましょう。
So, let's watch the first video.
Mm. これさっきのディエゴのビデオと同じ曲。
So yeah, that's the same track you noticed from the Diego's trailer as well.
I have a question about that piece of music. I'll ask you later.
でぜひ曲についてちょっと質問あるんですけれども、後にします。
OK。じゃあ今のを踏まえてもう一個のビデオを見てみようか。
All right, and so now we have a second version
I need
of
to
that
talk
video.
shop.
The battle's a little bit different length.
I need to talk shop to you, but that's not what we're here for.
Nice trick. But if you can do it, so could I.
うん。まあ何のことだかきっとわかんないよねみんな。
So you probably just don't know what happened, did you?
でもねこれが正解。
But that's okay.
みんながプレイしててこのシーンではこのメロディーが流れてほしいっていう風にマジックを使って自動的にアジャストしてる結果なんです。
There was definitely a difference between the two.
Again, so we have cast a magic spell on the actual battle so that when you're playing, you're not going to notice that the music is changing. It's all just going to feel smooth.
だからつまり言うと PS5 の中に俺がいてでアレックスがこうプレイしててアレックスのプレイに合わせて俺がこうなんか一生懸命こうエディッティングその場でしてるようななんかそんな感じかな。
And so you can kind of think of it like this. So Alex, you have your PlayStation 5. I'm inside that PlayStation 5. And while you're playing, I'm there editing the music, making sure things are coming at the right time.
So what you're telling me is that every single player is gonna have their own personal magical token in their PlayStation.
Yes.
っていうことなんですけれども、皆さん一人一人プレイヤー一人一人のために魔法の祖先さんが PS5 の中にいるっていうことですね。
そうです。
So that is to make sure that, if I understand this correctly, you don't want a moment in the boss fight where the boss is doing something epic like and the music gets sad like you want the music to match.
I'm ready
the
for Ellen to
epicness
do that
if it's
translation.
necessary.
でちょっとなんていうか私の理解のための確認なんですけれども、要するにこのボス戦、例えばボス戦の中でもうすっごいボスが強力な技を繰り出そうとしている瞬間に音楽のメロディーがなんか可愛くなっちゃうっていうような場面っていうか、全然バトルと音楽がマッチしてない場面を避けるための魔法っていうことですね。
そうです。あとはねまあ、全部のバトルにこのシステムを搭載してるわけじゃないんだけども例えばクライブが最後
You're right,
決めポーズを
Athena.
決めてバトルが終了する
I
なん
was
ていうバトルがあるん
hopeful.
ですよ中にはね。
So yeah, that's exactly right. It's not to say that there are some battles that we do something different. For example, there are some battles where when the battle ends and Clive will do a really cool pose.
アレックスだったらこうかどうだ。
So yeah, so for Alex, you'd be like this, right?
Yeah, that's what I do.
いやもうまさにそんな感じです。
その時にピッてこうイエイって決めた時に音楽もビシッって決まってほしいじゃん。
And so, like when Clive does that cool move or you do that cool move, we want the music to match that move and come at a swell and bring it all at that moment, right?
Wow. So what you're saying is players of any kind, you know, the amazing players like you, and the bad players like me apparently are gonna get the same experience. Thank you so much.
すごい。じゃあもうそのかっこいい決め技ももうすごい上手なプレイヤーさん、まあソケンさんもその一人なんですけれども、
These two just keep messing with one
そうでもない
another.
プレイヤー、まあ私その方かもしれないねっていう風になってるんですけど、どのプレイヤーでも全く同じような音楽体験ができるっていうことですね。
Yes。僕はねでもねオーバーウォッチは得意だけど16はそんな上手くないよ。
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, I mean, you know, you said I was a great gamer. I mean, I'm really good at Overwatch, but I'm not that really good at 16, so.
I see, I see.
I see.
なるほど、なるほど。
All right. So Ken-san, I believe, do we have some time for fan questions?
じゃあここで少しコミュニティからの質問も持ってきたんですけれども、お答えできる時間は。
Yes, sure.
All right.
Okay.
This one you may not see coming. I said before I wanted to ask you a question about that theme in the boss. That melody, many people recognize that it's quite similar to the Eureka melody from Final Fantasy XIV. Is there a reason for that?
でここ少しまあ、予測できていた質問かもしれないんですけれども、先ほどまあ、トレーラーの中でも先ほどあった動画の中であった曲なんですけれども、メロディーがちょっと14の曲に似てるっていうふうに言われたっていうか意見も出てるんですけれども、そのあたりに関して何か裏話とか何か教えていただけることはありますでしょうか。
例えばね、これはね、2つのパターンがあって、1つは意図的にやったこと、1つはただ単に僕だからっていうことかなと思ってます。
Okay, so with a lot of the songs that I make, you know, I do it two ways. One way is when a song sounds similar to another one, it's because I'm doing it on purpose. The other time is it's because Soken.
That's fair. I also want to talk a little bit about you guys, partners in crime.
いやもうとても納得します。で次の質問なんですけれども、このコンビもなかなか素晴らしいコンビじゃないかなと思うんですけれども。
One amazing thing that I noticed in Final Fantasy XVI, there's this new track that dropped called Find the Flame. And it sounds like the choir is singing Find the Flame, and it's so cool because I'm like, oh, okay, I'll find it. I feel so motivated. I'm like, right. I felt that way also in Final Fantasy XIV when the Shadowbringers choir is singing Riding Home.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to play a Japanese game and hear a choir with English lyrics singing to me.
で次の質問なんですけれども、まあそのなんていうかいいコンビっていうこともあって、この間16の新曲が。
Why does your music in Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XVI sound similar? Because I made it.
Find the Flame って歌ってくれてて、もうなんかすごい迫力があって、じゃあ探しに行きますよ、行きますっていう風に感じるんですけれども、まあ14のその漆黒のテーマソングもそうやって英語の合唱が入っていて、すごい迫力があったんですけれども、日本のゲームの中で英語の合唱が入っているっていうことはなかなかないので、まあその過程とか背景について少し詳しく教えていただけますでしょうか。
はい。これはですね、僕がこのまあスクエアエニックス、元はスクエアなんですけど、まあここに来る前にももちろんゲーム開発したんですけど、この会社に入って。サウンドを作っていく流れで実はコウジと20年15年ぐらい前かなに実は出会ったんですね。
So I mean I've been working in sound for a long time, and after coming to Square, I mean I think it was maybe about 15 years ago that I had first opportunity to work with Koji, with me.
でその時にこんな便利な
I just realized that Soken's the only person on the dev team that isn't wearing a Final Fantasy XVI hoodie.
This guy can be really useful.
でちょっとね、とあるゲームでね、ちょっと英語のラップが欲しかったのね。
And so I was working on this game, and I needed someone to rap for me.
その時にたまたま
I guess Yoshi P wasn't. Never mind.
And then, it happened that I was near the studio that day.
ちょっとやってよって言って。
And he's like, oh, hey, you, rap.
その時 時にコウジがラップしたのがメリオだったかな。
And yeah, and then I had to rap, and so I mean it was a game with Mario, and it's just like Mario.
I remember that game. I played it as a kid and I loved it.
でも覚えてますよ。私子供の頃にあのゲームを遊んでて大好きだったんですよ。
マリオフープス？
Mario Hoops 3-on-3? Yeah.
So cool.
その時からね、コウジはずっと一緒に
My
仕事
ears
して
were
て、
starting to
で
hurt
14
because I've been
コウジがいたわけ
smiling
さ。
so much and
そん
it's
なの
pushing
頼
on
む
my
じゃん。全
monitors.
世界に作ってるゲームなんだからコウジ英語一つ頼むよ。ね。
And then he's been using me in games since then. And then it happened that we both ended up working on Final Fantasy XIV. And because Final Fantasy XIV is a game we're selling around the world, it's like, hey, we're selling it around the world. Let's use English. Oh yeah, that's Koji. Hey, help me out, man.
で、最初歌詞作ってもらってたのね。
And so I started out just writing the lyrics for the songs.
でもさ、歌詞作ってもらってどんな風に歌うのかよくわかんないから、ちょっととりあえず歌ってよって言ってスタジオに入れて歌わしたの。
That's right. But then, you know, I write the lyrics, but he's like, but I mean, I don't know how do you sing them? Koji, can you just give me a sample of how to sing the lyrics?
で、バラオブデラ、バラオブデラ。
I love it.
I don't think I need to translate that part.
まあ俺の答えはもうこれでいいじゃん。
And so I do the sample, and he's like, yeah, we don't need to take any more. That's good enough. And then we have
Good
a song.
take. Got it.
I heard a rumor that you guys have a song in 16 as well where you're singing together. Is that true?
でちょっと噂を聞いたんですけれども、一緒に16の中で一緒に歌ってるっていう曲も入ってるって耳にしたんですけれども。
あるかもね。
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I'm excited to hear it if it exists.
まあその maybe を聞いてとても楽しみにしています。まあ存在するのであればですね。
でもさ、ほら、コウジと俺だよ。だからそんなおーなんて歌ってないよ。
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, if it's us singing it, it's not going to be something like oh and beautiful. You know what it's going to be.
Well, sounds like we're almost out of time.
いや。
すいません、そろそろ時間がなくなりそうな時間になってしまいました。
なので今日はせっかくね、こうやってアレックスと一緒にステージできたからどうしても一曲一緒にやりたい。
I mean, I'm here on stage with you. We're both musicians. Let's do something. We got to collab.
I mean, let's try it. I'd love to. Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah. せっかくだからここ16のステージだから16の曲やりたい。
All right, and because, you know, we're here for Final Fantasy 16, we got to do a Final Fantasy 16 song.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's give our best.
ぜひ精一杯頑張ります。
アレックスがさっきリベンジが好きだって言ったじゃん。
So you mentioned the trailer before, the Revenge trailer, and you really liked the track, and that's always stuck in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
Okay, let's do it.
I hope you know how to play it. If it's stuck in your head, you better be able to play it.
Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Okay. ちょっと待って。OK。One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Oh my god.
そしたら我々のパネルはこれで終了なんですけど、この後最後にもう一度ステージから、皆さんにご挨拶させていただきますんで。
I didn't know you were going to say anything else.
All right, so that's the end of our panel here. But we have one last tiny panel where we're bringing everyone back up on the stage to say our goodbyes. So please stick around.
みんなアレックスに拍手。
Give a big round of applause for Alex.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Oh man. Okay, let's go find this last little bit here. Looks like it's only like 5 minutes.
Welcome back to the stage, the Final Fantasy XVI development team.
Welcome back, everybody. This was such a good showcase event. This was fantastic.
皆さん本当にまずは長時間、ご視聴それからねご観覧ストリーマーの皆さんもね配信本当にありがとうございました。
It's been a very long show. Thank you, everyone here and watching on the stream, for sticking with us to the end.
まあ長かったようで短かったような、この発売直前にね控えた、ロサンゼルスからのステージいよいよ終わりなので、まあ、せっかくなので、スタッフね今日集まってる開発チームメンバーから一言ずつもらっていこうかなと思います。
And while it's been almost 5 hours, it feels like it went by really quickly. But we'd like to bring the show here to an end. But before we do, we'd like to get comments from each of the development team.
じゃあ高井さんからお願いします。
So let's begin with Takai-san.
はい、ファイナルファンタジー16の発売日6月22日があと10日というところまで来ました。もうちょっとだけお待ちいただくことにはなるんですけど、本日配信されるデモ版をプレイしながら、お待ちいただければ案外あっという間に来るんじゃないかなと思っているので、お楽しみにしていただければと思います。ご来場の皆様、そして、ご視聴の皆様、本日は本当にありがとうございました。
All right, so we have 10 days until our launch on June 22nd. I'm super excited, and I know you are too.
2 days
so,
from the day that we're watching
time,
this, or that this was posted.
Playing the demo that drops later today. I hope you really, really like it. Thank you, everyone, for today. It's been great.
じゃあまひろお願いします。
はい、本日は皆さん本当にありがとうございました。今作はストーリーにとにかく力を入れて作ってきました。ナラティブパネルでも、言ったんですけども、皆さんぜひ最後までプレイして、クリアして我々に感想を送ってください。待ってます。
All right, thank you, everyone. We worked really hard to make Final Fantasy XVI's narrative a truly engaging experience. And like I said at the panel, we're excited to get the game in your hands and have you experience the game all the way to the end. And when you do, please give us your feedback. We'd love to hear it. Thank you very much.
I will give you my feedback. We'll do a review video.
はい、本日はありがとうございました。ファイナルファンタジー16は、普段アクションゲームをあまりやらない、ちょっとアクションゲームが苦手な人から、アクションゲームが大好きなヘビーユーザーさんまで楽しめるゲームとなってます。で、僕としては、普段あまりアクションゲームをプレイされないようなユーザーさんに、ぜひ触っていただけたらなと思ってます。ファイナルファンタジー16のプレイしたことを、きっかけに、アクションゲームの魅力を知るきっかけになってくれたら僕としては嬉しいです。本日はありがとうございました。
All right, again, thank you everyone so much. We've developed Final Fantasy XVI to be enjoyable and accessible to both hardcore action gamers and newcomers alike. But my real hope is that through Final Fantasy XVI, we can get those players who are maybe not so good at action games or maybe have never played action games to come into the genre and learn to truly love it like I do.
Don't worry, you don't have to do what he did at the freaking gameplay part of this.
今回14の裏で黙ってこそこそ16作ってやっとここまで来て皆さんの前にお披露目できてまずは感無量です。
And so, you know, I've been working very, very hard on both 14 and Final Fantasy 16, but it's finally time for me to come here on stage and be with all you. It's so exciting.
この2つの地獄があったおかげでか本当に16に対してさまざまなキャラクターさまざまな土地に美しいメロディーをたくさん用意したんでぜひ皆さんゲームを遊んでいつもよりもちょっとボリューム大きくして遊んでください。
Okay, and because I was able to traverse these two hells, it got me ready and made me able to create such great music for Final Fantasy 16. We have these wonderful themes for the characters. We have these wonderful melodies. And so when you play, take that volume and turn it up just a little bit more than usual for Final Fantasy 16. For me, I have spent the last several years working on this very, very wonderful game, not being able to talk about it a lot, but being able to be here, tell you all about the game and the experience, and also getting the opportunity to work with these wonderful devs from, I mean, let's just give these guys a hand. These guys, I am really excited to have Final Fantasy 16 out. I know you guys are as well, and I hope you really, really enjoy the game. Thank you very much.
最後に開発の皆様の声を皆さんにお届けすることができて本当に光栄です。なんていうか皆さんと同様にバリステアという世界に飛び込むのをすごく楽しみにしております。ありがとうございました。And I just want to say what an absolute pleasure and honor it's been to be able to deliver the voice of this wonderful dev team to you guys. And the same as all of you, I absolutely can't wait to jump into the world of Valisthea. Thank you all so much for having me here.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen.
じゃあ最後にすみません僕の方から指名させてもらいます。
All right, so let's end today's panel with a few final words from myself.
まあ体験版まであと数時間というところまで来て、まあどうにか本当に僕らにとっては結構序盤はね人数が少ない状態から開発したとはいえ結構長い年月かけて作ってきたゲームなので、まあここまで皆さんのサポートがあってこれってまずはホッとしてます。
And so, like I said before, our demo for Final Fantasy 16 is dropping in only a few hours. This is going to be the first time we get the game in the hands of everyone out there. We've been working on this game for so long. Remember back when we started just with a few members, growing the team, working so hard to get this game out to you. We're really excited.
そして、今日ここに来れてない開発チームのメンバーも含めて、今回16の開発に関わった全員が今遊ぶんだったらこれが一番面白いだろうと思う、僕らなりにねそう信じるゲームをしっかり磨き上げて、作り上げてきましたのでぜひですね世界中の皆さん配信も含めてプレイしていただきながら、ストーリークリアして感想を聞かせていただけると嬉しく思います。
And again, while we have some great dev team members here today, there are a lot of dev team members that weren't able to make the trip to Los Angeles, but they all worked very, very hard to create something that is very, truly, truly special. And we truly believe that we've created something special here, and we can't wait to get it in your hands and have you play through it, get to the end, and give us all your feedback.
ありがとうございます。
That was so much fun.
では改めまして本当に本日ね多少ねちょっと外寒かったんですけど本当にたくさんのファンの皆さんに集まっていただいて本当に嬉しく思ってます。
Again, I want to thank everyone who came here today. You braved the cold to be here with us.
そしてストリーマーの皆さんも本当に最後までプレイをしていただいて
Honestly, one of the best game showcases you've seen. Agreed.
Thank everyone over there, all of our influencers and streamers who are streaming the game to the world and showing everybody how exciting Final Fantasy 16 can be.
そして何より、配信のね向こうで世界中からこのイベントをずっとね見続けてくださった皆さんにもお礼を申し上げます。本当にありがとうございます。
We want to thank everyone who is watching us today on the stream all around the world.
改めてファイナルファンタジー16 6月22日全世界同時発売となります。
All right, so remember, Final Fantasy 16 on sale worldwide, June 22nd.
我々もですね、この後日本に戻って発売直前にちょっとね日本語の放送になるかもしれませんが、もう一回生放送やろうかなと思ってますので、ぜひ体験版やった後でもそちらの方もご覧いただけると嬉しいです。
And so for us, once this is over, we're going to be heading back to Japan. But before launch, we hope to have maybe a live letter, like a live performance, maybe in Japan. So if you have the time, maybe check it out.
それでは皆さん、バリスゼアの世界でお会いしましょう。See you in バリスゼア。
What do you think?
Yeah, that was so fun. That was so cool.
I'd heard rumors that you'd survived. Lord Rosfield, I've been looking for you for a very long time. I'll tear you apart with my hands! Try it. Now die! You're not the only one who's seen their world fall apart around them. I thought I was ready for this.
I know, but we will face it together.
Good talk, yeah? Let's shut him up. I am a shield of Rosaria, and I will do my duty. Come on, Ifrit. Show us your true power.
Damn, that's cool. The voice performance, holy shit. Like, holy shit. The music, God. So I need to go to the Final Fantasy page real quick because it might have just been one of the trailers that they showed off. Okay, because I knew that there was people that were talking about that there was a new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. It is the trailer that they opened and ended with, and then the live action trailer. So there's not actually another trailer for Final Fantasy 16 beyond the ones that we saw in that showcase. I wasn't sure if there would be or not. I was like, it's real quick and easy to go check. Okay, so that was really cool. That was a lot of fun. That was awesome. I want more presentations like that one. And I realize that it's not a presentation that everyone is going to be able to achieve because of the personalities that were on stage. Everyone on stage was, for the most part, extremely comfortable, right? And that's not going to be a scenario that you have with your dev team, right? Like, all of those people were very experienced, very comfortable. They were okay with where they were. And that's not something that you'll always find across your dev teams, right? So they had a very fortunate set of circumstances that allowed them to have that. But I would like to see more things be presented in this way because I felt like this was such a brilliant presentation of the game. It felt very natural. It was informative. It didn't feel preachy. It didn't feel corporate. It was fantastic. Loved it. Ready for the game. I mentioned it throughout while we were thinking. I have not played the demo. I'm not going to play the demo because the game comes out in 2 days. So I'll just play it in 2 days. Because the progress carries forward. That's great and all. But I'm just going. I had already ordered my copy. I'm just going to play the game. That was cool. That was super cool. I'm ready.